moment. But, man, it's good to be back. It feels like we were gone for like a month and feel fully refreshed and fantastic and ready to go this morning. I'm Woodsy. To my right is Italian Paul, a.k.a. Frank Marchese. There he is. Good morning, Frankie.
Good morning, guys.
Now, on the Braden Sopranen show, of which you are now a full-time member.
Yes, I am.
Congratulations on that, number one. I know you've worked very, very hard for that opportunity and put in a lot of hours and you know, done a lot of the grunt work for Adam Klug. He really made you earn it, and you've earned it. Do you go by Frank or do you go by Italian Paul, Italian Frank?
No, it's Frank.
It's Frank.
On that, yeah.
I feel bad now.
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. So on this show, though, you'll always be Italian Paul to us.
That's fair.
Because Paulie Reindl, our beloved executive producer, is out. And then when Frankie would fill in, we'd call him Italian Paul because he would be the Italian version of Paul because his name's Frank Marchese. It's good to see you, man. How are you?
Doing great.
You look fantastic.
Thank you very much.
You dropped how many pounds? What do you at?
130 about in 7 months.
God.
Yeah.
130 pounds in 7 months.
It went from 394 to 265.
Oh, 394 in honor of our beloved Tony Gwynn. You should have stayed there.
Well, there you go. That was my thought. 265.
Now you're like Jake Cronenworth, essentially. He's gone from Tony Gwynn to Jake Cronenworth.
I think Jake would love to be 265.
That's fair. I think most guys on the team would love to be 265 at this point. To my left, our beloved driver of this machine, Benjamin R. Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning. Stretch it out after the long weekend.
Is our YouTube right? Aren't I usually on the left? Or are you in the middle? I can't remember.
Well, I think it looks right.
Does that look right? Are you always left and I'm in the middle?
No, you're right. It's not correct. I'm looking at you, so I'm looking the wrong way. There we are. Now I'm looking at you. And if I look this way, I look at Frank.
Okay.
And you.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Perfect.
Now I feel
in the
better.
middle of the Brady Bunch square.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now I feel better. Okay. How was everybody's weekend? What did you do, Benjamin?
Weekend was good. Let's see. I had a golf tournament on Saturday morning. I'm very interested to hear about your Saturday morning, though.
Well, I want to hear about your 69.
I did shoot a 69.
Oh, you shot a 69.
I shot a 69, yeah.
Because he just texted me 69. And I said, wow, that's an exciting Saturday morning.
It's a nice score, for sure.
It's a great score.
4 over par.
That's excellent.
It's excellent. Excellent. Had a good round. And then I spent the entire rest of the weekend, well, at least Saturday and Sunday, cleaning up the house. Things that, with my new schedule, I let a few things get out of hand.
Into disarray.
Yeah, some bathrooms, some laundry, some floors, just, the deep cleaning, spring cleaning, as it were. But the house looks much better now, and I feel good about it, but it doesn't lend itself to a ton of interesting stories about what I did over the weekend.
Well, I remember those days in high school when I would be, I was a teenager, and I'd go out the night before, and boy, I'd hear mom and dad up cleaning. Now, did you rope the kids into it at all?
They did help. Yeah.
That's awesome.
They were helping as well.
Because I do remember those mornings where you'd wake up on a Saturday at like 11, and you're like, they're being loud on purpose. Like I can hear my dad doing things, making a ruckus.
Start the laundry right away.
Right away.
Dishwasher, laundry, things that make noise, so we know what kind of day it's going to be at the home.
The vacuum cleaner I would hear on my hallway, and I'd be like, I got to get up. I'm going to have to go clean these toilets right now. It's kind of new on a cleaning day. It was not your most fun, but it's nice to get it done. It does feel great to do that. Frankie, what about you? What'd you do? I know you just sat and watched cars drive around and around in circles all weekend.
I did do that
for
on
sure.
Sunday.
Yeah.
I actually went to the game last night, left early, which is something I never do because I knew I had to be here.
Smart.
Well,
I appreciate that about
something.
You, dude.
This is something I'm not usually aligned with, being smart, but
that's fair.
Just spent most of the weekend relaxing and mentally preparing to move next weekend.
Were you at the SDFC game as well?
I was at the SDFC game.
Kicked some LA Galaxy fans' butt in the stands afterwards. Was that you?
I watched it.
You weren't participating, though, in the brawl afterwards. No. Okay, good.
I actually had to be told it was going on because I'm sitting there doing stuff on the computer, and then I'm seeing everyone like reacting to what's going on across. I'm like, oh, that's something going on.
Yeah,
it moved over the entire upper deck on that far side.
I saw that. It's not what you want. Obviously, we'll talk about that. Got a lot of DMs about it. over the weekend. You said you're moving. Where are you moving?
From one side of our current complex to the other.
To the other. Okay. Yeah. All right. Always
staying very local.
Always fun. We had a great weekend, honestly, like one of the better family weekends. And when you have small kids, you guys out there can attest to it. You do get a little panicked if there's no sports. We don't have any organized sports to get to this weekend. That's part of the beauty of youth sports, is that it gives everybody a purpose, something to get up for, get ready for, get out to, celebrate, whatever. It gives the kids something to do. But we didn't have anything planned. So we decided to take a little mini trip to Venice Beach. Now, I am a huge, huge fan. As much as I rip on the Dodgers, and I do a lot because I don't like their fans. They're mean. And I don't like their players. I think they're all clowns, most of them. I like going to LA. I always have. Since I moved here, I enjoy going up for the day or two. I think there's a lot to see. I love history. I love music. So it's just a great place to go.
It's a major metropolis.
Oh, 100%.
We're not, and that's a good thing
Yes.
for San Diego, but there are things you can do in a major metropolis that you can't do other places.
Well, and Venice Beach is really special to me. I'm a huge Doors fan, and that's where the Doors spawned. That was it right there on the beach that we were walking by is where Ray Manzarek met Jim Morrison, and Jim Morrison sang him a song, and he goes, "Bro, it's the best song I've ever heard. Let's go start a band." And the rehearsal space is right off the beach, and this is where Morrison slept on the roof, and it's special to me. And still, it's crazy. It's 60 years ago, and every shop you pass has the Jim Morrison shirts. It's just there's that vibe that you get in Venice, and I like the weirdness of it. I like the people out selling stuff on the streets. I just wanted to take the kids. Also, now they love the movie White Men Can't Jump, featuring Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson, not the one with broccoli-headed Jack Harlow. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. They should all be embarrassed. But the original. So they love that movie. They love it. They watched it 1,000 times. So when I told them the basketball courts where they shot that are where we're going, they were super excited to see it. Now, my youngest, Taylor, we were getting into the van to leave early in the morning on Sunday, goes, "Dad," he kept asking me, "Dad, are we going to go to the basket? Should we bring a basketball?" I go, "No, I don't think we're going to run today." And he goes, "But I want to see where Jack White can't jump." And I said, "What did you call it?" He said, "Jack White can't jump." And I go, "You mean white men can't jump?" He goes, No, the movie Jack White Can't Jump. He thinks it's called Jack White Can't Jump because he also likes the white stripes. Right. So he put 2 and 2 together. I said, all right. So took him out, showed him the court. We took pictures in front of the Morrison mural and got some coffee and walked up and down the boardwalk. We were in the van,
Still
though.
Have the bodybuilders.
We stopped by Venice Beach. Yeah, it was great. Bo, I made Bo do a little pose in front of it, of course. But it was one of those things. They really enjoyed it. And you see all kinds of interesting people, lots of interesting people down there. And it's fun, man. I like to show them things like that. And we had a really good time. But we were in the van to and fro way longer than we actually spent at Venice Beach. I mean, the trip got down there in about an hour and a half and home took about 2:10, 2:15. But we were at Venice Beach for all of an hour, so it was worth it. That was a fun family day. And then, I went down with Benjamin yesterday to the clubhouse, Padres clubhouse. My original plan was to go to the clubhouse, see the fellas, put in an appearance because I haven't been down at all this year. I don't like to bother them. To go down, shake some hands, kiss some babies. And then I was going to stay for the fantasy camp reunion game. We had the porch where they have the bell. And that's where the fantasy camp reunion was going to be. Get a text from Hannah. Boys are on fire, just squirrely, end of a long weekend. I go, you know what? I'll bounce. So I came home, ended up taking care of them, putting them away like they're my shoes, got them settled, and then watched the game on television. So I missed the game. It looks like it was a good one to be at. Sorry you had to leave early, Frankie, but it was a lot of fun, man. Going down to the clubhouse, getting to see the guys. Now I got some stories. I think should I save my stories?
Yeah, save some stories.
Okay.
I will say that I'm glad you went down. I think a couple of times a year is fine.
That's all I need.
I think they enjoy seeing you when you come down
because I don't wear them out.
Well, you do when you're there.
No, I don't.
You don't think you don't? Well, you're not wearing them out. They like talking to you.
You know what I don't do is what were you looking for on that swing?
Right.
I don't wear them out like that.
We're in the club. So Frankie, we're in the clubhouse before the game, and you've been down there, and the regular media, Dennis Lynn, AJ Cassavell, Sam Levitt, Jeff Sanders,
Ben Higgins,
Annie Halpern, Kevin Acey. We're all standing around with our recorders and cameras, and Ben Higgins. I've got my Channel 10 camera, and we stand around pretty much just with each other, and we just sit there and talk. Woods is bouncing from PR players, coaches. He's talking to everybody. He's dapping everybody up. I mean, he's like a dap machine, like boom, 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 boom. I mean, he is poking his head, every locker going around, talking to everybody the entire time.
Yep.
It's very engaging. He's Woods. He's a good conversationalist. They seem happy. They smile when they're talking to him. But the rest of us are just quietly just waiting, doing nothing at all during this entire open clubhouse. It's like a 50-minute open clubhouse time.
Yeah.
There's very few players who were actually in there because BP was it was early and optional because of the Memorial Day early start. So there's only like 2 or 3 guys that ran in. But somehow Woods kept a running conversation the entire 50 minutes while we were in there. And the rest of us were just kind of standing around, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for something to happen. Finally, in the last minute, Jake Cronenworth came out. We all ran to him to get a couple of bites. Then Gavin Sheets came out. Then Manny came out. And everyone's just rushing in the last maybe 2.5 minutes of open clubhouse to actually get some interviews and work done. But Woods did not stop talking the entire time that we were in there.
No, when I take my opportunity, I make the most of it. I like to get some stories. I like to have some conversations with some guys,
which is good
outside of baseball.
But you couldn't do that every day.
No,
you couldn't do that every series. You couldn't do that every homestand.
No,
a couple of times a year, you do the Woods thing. You go in there, you say hello to everybody. No problem.
I mean, the funniest thing that happened is me, Ben, Annie. We're clubhouse concierge. Very good, Dominic. Just making sure nobody needs anything. I'm standing there talking to Ben and Annie. And Ben Fritz, who is the one of the bullpen coaches, he's just my favorite dude on the planet. So cool, so great. Walks up, big bear hug, and I'm talking to him, and he goes, "Oh, dude, Maldi wants you." And I go, "What?" And he goes,
Martin Maldonado?
Yeah, he goes, "Maldi wants you." And I go, "Oh, really?" And I turn around. He didn't want me. Fritz told me to turn around because Martin Maldonado's bare ass was 4 feet from me. Big, thick, bare ass staring me right in the face. And I looked at him, I go, "You MF," just like that. I mean, right.
That was funny.
Like I turned around, I was like, "Oh, come on. Come on, man."
That was funny.
And he got me. And then he's laughing and he walks away. I'm like, "You SOB,
I saw it coming.
He got me good, dude. Hey, Maldi wants you." What? Oh, come on. It was great. Said hi to T-Wade. My favorite part was all these guys, all these jackals, vultures, are over talking to Crony and Gavin Sheets. And I look up, and into the clubhouse walks my beloved Manny Machado. Nobody around him. And so I walk straight up, bro hug, dap him up, and I get about 2 minutes of solo FaceTime with Manny. He asked about the kids, how they're doing. I showed him Bo's play that he made. He loved it, thought it was so great. Talked about fatherhood for a bit. I said, how's the family? He said, "So good." I said, "I see your little dude scooting around here." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, it's getting serious." And I said, how is it for you? He looked at me, he goes, "It's tiring." I go, "Yeah, it's really, really tiring." He goes, "Yeah, I'm tired a lot." He goes, "But it's good, man. Everybody's happy. Everybody's healthy." I said, "How's the body feel?" He goes, "Good. Feel really, really good." And I think it showed last night and this past weekend. So getting a little FaceTime with the captain's always a good thing.
Woods also accomplished the most important task that we needed to do while we were down there. He enlisted a mole.
Yes.
For our trip to Philadelphia next month, Frankie.
I found him.
Because we're going to Citizens Bank Park.
Oh, no.
And we have heard stories of the legendary visiting clubhouse cheesesteaks that are only available to the road teams that come and play the Philadelphia Phillies. They're apparently, some people say, maybe the best in all of Philadelphia. Yep. Better than the classic restaurants, Pat's, Geno's, wherever your favorites are. They say none are better.
Nothing comes close.
But you can't get them at the stadium. You can't buy them. You can't. The only way you can do that if you're a member of the visiting team. Media doesn't count. Woods has enlisted us a secret mole who is at least promised to smuggle us out visiting Clubhouse Cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I don't know how he's. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Right.
It's going to be like Ocean's 11.
His identity will remain secret.
Yep, his identity will remain secret. But I did enlist this person, and he said, "I got you. Just give me the heads up when you'll be down there, and I'll take care of it."
You guys should be more concerned about getting in and out of Philadelphia alive.
That's the other thing. I know. So we
forget the cheesesteaks.
Frankie, we already decided we will be silently rooting for our San Diego
Very
Padres. Silently. We bought tickets to the game.
Good idea.
Internally.
Internally. Just now I'm a cheerer. I'm a clapper. I'm a cheerer. It will be difficult for us to stay incognito.
Will we do a fake out? Like, Bryce Harper hits a single and we'll go, yeah, nice, Bryce, way to go.
And the other thing is we're not hiding in the press box because you can't cheer in there anyway. So we're not hiding up there. We're going to be down with the people. And races, don't be afraid. See, I hear different, man.
No, that's a dangerous proposition.
I hear different. I really do. I have so many friends from Philly that are like,
we invested in better seats, so we're not sitting up with the bleacher bums. We're going to be.
They're just citizens.
That's what they call them in Dodger. That's what they call them at Dodger Stadium. The bleacher bums.
They're just
or Wrigley Field.
They're just people like you and me. I don't know that I would call them bums.
No, they're all
the
bums.
deadbeats out in the bleacher.
The bleacher creatures.
Yes. So we found our cheesesteak mole, which was really the reason I went down yesterday. It was of utmost importance to do that. But man, I still have reams of stories from yesterday. It's so good. We do need to take a quick break. Yeah,
we need to check traffic. We'll set the menu. We're coming back. I don't know if Frank knows our morning clock, but we have extended foreplay.
Yeah,
leads into traffic.
Feels real good.
We only take the one break in the morning, so we'll check traffic. Come back. We'll set the menu for the program today. Get ready for the Padres talk as well with Bennett Woods and Italian Paul on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Good morning. Getting back to it on a Tuesday after a lot of folks got to enjoy a nice 3-day holiday weekend. It's quiet on our roads right now. We're not showing any incidents, no accidents, really no brake lights. Just a reminder, though, guys, due to last week's plane crash in the Murphy Canyon area, you're still going to find those closures in place. Santo Road between Arrow Drive and Sculpin Street and some of the surrounding streets in the area. I'm Kelly Danick with Bennett Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I meant to ask you, though, before we get to the menu, we did run into, of course, the manager, Mike Schilt. He was very complimentary of me, my physique. He said, I've been working out. You look good.
You look good.
I was very appreciative of that.
He had a very tight shirt on yesterday. Very tight.
So, it was a new shirt.
It's a new shirt.
Well, the True Classics that you and Paulie got me that I wear the T-shirts, they have polos now. And I thought, I'll try that. But I decided I don't need a double X anymore. I went with just a regular XL, but it was a little on the tighter side, so I wasn't sure how it would play.
It played,
but it played all right. Mike Schultz,
he liked it.
He noticed.
He was a fan.
He pointed out. He said, "Been working out." I said, "Thank you. I have." I appreciated that. And then you had an interaction with him, but apparently I missed some of it because what happened with you and Mike Schilt?
He thinks that I hate him. I think. I don't think I'm ever going to get over with Schulte.
I know for a fact you don't.
I don't.
You don't.
I don't. I think he's number one. I think he is awesome. I think he loves his players. I think he loves the city. I think he loves the organization. I think he wants to win more than anything. I think he'd cut off an arm to win a World Series. I really do. Just having talked to him over the years. I know those guys love playing for him. They all speak highly. They speak highly of him even when it's, hey, man, how's he really? He's awesome. Woodsy, he's awesome. I mean, I've had multiple conversations with multiple guys that say, bro, he's the greatest, right? They all love him. And that's not something you can say about the last 3 or 4 managers here. So he finishes up his presser, which I didn't participate in. I was just watching. I'm a voyeur. I was watching him do his thing, and he gave a few answers, talked about Memorial Day, talked about, calling up Kyle Hart and things like that, which we'll get into. So he's walking away. Now, you guys may remember a couple weeks ago, we had him on the air, and I put him on the spot. I go, are you a Pearl Jam fan? My guess is that you're not. He goes, why would you say that? So he backs me in these corners. I go, listen, I'll bring you a T-shirt. I have a Pearl Jam shirt. I'll give you. And he goes, I'll wear it. And I go, okay, great. Now, so yesterday when I grabbed him, I go, Skip, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I go, I forgot your Pearl Jam shirt, but I will bring it next time I see you. And he thought I was taking a dig at him. And he goes, you always find a way to twist the knife in, don't you? And I go, what do you mean? What? So I'm like back on my heels. He goes, I always find a way to twist the knife in. And I go, no, I'm not. I wasn't talking about the series. I told you I'll bring you a shirt. I didn't bring you a shirt. I'll bring your shirt next time. And he's pissed.
Because the series didn't go well.
It doesn't know. But I mean, he probably never wants to hear Pearl Jam again.
That's a good point.
But I had promised him a shirt.
I see both sides of this one.
So, man, he's like, huh. Always find a way. And I go, no. And please. That's not what I was saying. I wasn't taking a shot. And then he's like, all right, well, hey, how you guys doing? How's the family? Family's great. How's your boy?
I missed that part entirely.
He's like, how's your boy? My boy's good. He's crushing, blah, blah, blah.
Gave him some drills to work on.
Gave me a couple drills,
great, yeah.
which I thought was really cool for Bo. And then he said, and then we just started talking, and then I just panicked. I mean, I just full on panic. Was like, man, I was thinking about it driving down today. Like, you had Schwellenbach yesterday. He's 97, top of the zone. Now you got Weathers coming out. He's going to be throwing 97. I said, there's no reprieve for your guys ever. He goes, that's it. He goes, I can't wrap my head around every day having to go out and face 97, 98. And he goes, that's the job for these guys, man. I give them a lot of credit. And so I think I saved it there at the end. But it was so awkward. I go, no. He really thought that I'm going to walk in there and be like, lost to the Mariners, huh? You guys suck. I'm like, Shilty, I love this team. I never want you to lose a game ever. I'm right there with you. You want my arm to win? Let's go. Like, let's do it. He knows I'd run through a wall for him. So he gets back on his haunches a little bit, thinks I'm taking a shot. I really wasn't. You know if I'm taking a shot.
Yeah. And then we saw like 10 million bees, and we both just left running because they had a swarm behind home plate that they had to take care of. So we left at that point and got out of there. We got to get out of this segment because we want our Padres first winning wrap-up for this show in about a week and a half, which will be nice. We can talk about a Padres walk-off win, their first extra inning win of the season, get you all the highlights from Scan and Tony on the radio last night. In our next segment, we'll talk about the injuries to the pitching staff, the moves the Padres made over the weekend. We'll get into some SDFC, the win at the death against the LA Galaxy, and of course the fights in the stands that took place over the weekend at Snapdragon Stadium. Don't do this at 7:20, and then in our 8 o'clock hour, we will be joined by Jesse Agler, Padres broadcaster, still on television this week, and then Dennis Lynn, our Monday guest, is going to move over to Tuesday from The Athletic to get some Linsider Padres talk in our 9 o'clock hour. Frankie will have an Italian Paul Reindl report at 9 o'clock as well. So we got a busy show for you. Let's get started with our Padres wrap-up of a 4-3 win over the Miami Marlins. Coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I'm going to tell you about Prize Picks, which is my place for daily fantasy. I've been doing it about 10 months now, I think. I really love baseball season with Prize Picks. It is a place where you can set your lineups, 2 to 6 players, and win up to 2,000 times your cash. I love it. Today's Taco Tuesday. You got discounted players right on the board. You can win more. You can win easier on Taco Tuesday. So this is a great day to get started with Prize Picks. With millions of members, Prize Picks making daily fantasy accessible to everyone. All you need to do is download the app. When you do, make sure you use our code KWFN. Helps them keep track, gives me credit, and gives you an extra $50 to play when you play your first $5 limit. A bonus.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real.
Right, this Friday.
Yes,
and I
sir.
said, absolutely. It is going to be a Manager's Report Friday with Mike Schilt at 9 a.m. here on Ben and Woods. The Manager's Report refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. And this is a bit surprising and interesting, but take advantage of this opportunity because the Padres tell us there are actually still limited tickets available for tonight's game. It's a military hoodie giveaway night sponsored by Soapy Joe's. First 40,000 fans in attendance. They've sold out about 95% of their games already this season, but they do have a few tickets. So if you have been unable to attend a game, a giveaway game for a really cool item, the military hoodie, you've got a chance still to go to Padres.com/tickets and attend tonight's game as the Padres look for their fourth win in their past 5 games tonight against the Miami Marlins with Stephen Kolek on the mound.
Now, I thought we had some in here. Looks
We
like
did.
The Jackals have come through and Taking them all
Not
home.
in the bag there. Anything left in that bag?
Look at you.
Woodsy's got one left in the bag. Rip it open. Mud's been, of course, modeling it on television with the, you got the pocket for your keys or your hands to stay warm there.
The kangaroo pouch.
Kangaroo pouch, yeah.
The Joey pouch. That's good.
So that's tonight's giveaway, and it's not a complete sellout yet. Limited tickets are still available at Padres.com/tickets. Of course, Padres made some moves before we get to last night's game over the weekend. Several roster moves, starting with the return of Luis Camposano, who was called up when Jason Hayward was placed on the IL with an oblique strain. Quote, unquote, oblique strain.
Sounds legit to me.
I'm not questioning the injury, but it is a convenient way to keep Jason Hayward in the clubhouse, his leadership.
Around the team,
Around the team, but not actually playing him because the offense has obviously not been where the Padres need it to be out in left field. Campy, of course, has yet to get a hit in 2 stints now with the Padres. He has walked a bunch, though, and getting on base a little bit. Hitting in AAA, not on the big league level. Also, several pitching moves. After using the bullpen for extra innings, they called up Omar Cruz from AAA, sent Alec Jacob down to El Paso. Then David Morgan was called up when Michael King was placed on the 15-day injured list, and we'll talk more about the injuries with Michael King and Yu Darvish still not quite ready to come back to the Padres rotation, but a couple of new faces back in the Padres bullpen. David Morgan, who got his major league debut last night and got both the guys he faced out. That was always a cool moment when a guy gets to pitch for the first time in the big leagues.
Well, and how about Schulte saying, hey, we called you up for a reason. Let's go in a 3-2 game and out of the frying pan into the fire. No soft landing spot, Ben, for David Morgan. Up 4, down 4, whatever in the 6th or 7th. It was, hey, man, we need you to hold this. You need to keep it right here so we can win this ball game. And he did, man. It was great.
And then they'll have to make one more move today, or at least tomorrow morning when Kyle Hart's going to be recalled. They have announced him as the starter for tomorrow afternoon's game, the series finale, pushing Nick Pivetta back to Friday as they try to manage their pitching rotation now without Michael King. So we'll see Kyle Hart back. He's had some success down at AAA, walking too many guys, but not giving up a ton of hits. So we'll see how that plays as he returns to the big leagues and makes the start in the series finale tomorrow. So those are the moves. Let's get to the game, though. We'll get to our Padres wrap up, all the highlights from an extra inning win over the Miami Marlins coming up right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the Padres Wrap-Up, brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
2-2 offering, swung on line drive, heading towards the gap, could be trouble. Fernando racing over, he's not going to get it. Sanchez is rounding second, heading to third. They're going to send him. Here comes the throw. It's not going to be in time. It's cut off in shallow right field. Marlins on the board, 1-0 on the RBI double by Augustine Ramirez. And a 1-0 count to Norby. Swung on line drive towards center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Ramirez will score, and the Marlins now have a 2-0 lead on the RBI single by Connor Norby. Swung on, driven to center field and deep. Jackson Merrill's going back. He's at the wall. He leaps. He can't get this one. It's going to be gone. A home run for Jesus Sanchez, his third of the season, and all of a sudden the Marlins have a 3-0 lead. Iglesias was a strikeout victim back in the second. Swung on, hot shot, third base line, fair ball down into the corner. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Campusano heading over to third. It's a 2-run double for Jose Iglesias. Padres now trail 3-2.
Taking advantage of what the Marlins have presented to them. The error keeps the inning alive. And after the walk to Campusano, Jose Iglesias comes through.
2-0 pitch swung on, driven to left field and deep. Going back is Stowers. It's going to be gone. Home run for Manny Machado to tie this ball game up 3-3. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, gets by Hicks. Wade is going to try to score. Here comes the throw. He is safe, and the Padres win it on a wild pitch. Tyler Wade scoring from third base, just getting ahead of the tag at home plate, and the Padres win this ball game in the 11th by a score of 4-3.
You know, they've been grinding, man. They've been going and getting after it, and tonight was actually lights out. I mean, Wandy comes in, finishes off the 7th, and goes out and grabs that first hitter in the 8th. That was huge. Sets up Morgan. Congratulations to Morgan, you know, making his big league debut. Knocks down his 2 guys, and then here we go. You know, Manny, big swing to tie it. Suarez right there, you know, in the 9th. Adam, fantastic in the 10th, and Morihone, I mean, lights out again. Just his stuff's, you know, all 3 of their stuff's really nasty. Morihone's been particularly filthy as well, but just can't say enough about the bullpen.
Man, got me fired up. And you know, we always ask the question on this show, do we complain about wins? The answer is no. We do not complain about wins. I did see a couple of, man, this offense still, you're right. You're absolutely right. This offense has some issues. Man, it took a wild pitch for us to win a game. Don't care. Won the game. Like it can go so quickly the other way when things start to go against your team, and you look up, you've lost 6 in a row. So you take these where you can get them. Hell yeah, that inning got extended on a throwing error. That's how you beat the Miami Marlins, Ben. They are not a good baseball team as far as fundamentals go. You got to take advantage of that, and the Padres did that. And yeah, they took advantage of an error. They took advantage of a wild pitch. They won a ball game and did exactly what they needed to do. That's it. You took care of business.
There are multiple things that are true about the Padres right now. First of all, I'll start with the positive. They're doing what good teams do when good teams go into their inevitable slump during the season. They found a way to win a couple of close games with pitching, taking advantage of errors. Hey, on a wild pitch, doesn't matter. You got to find a way to sneak out a couple of wins when you're not at the top of your game, especially offensively.
Correct.
And they, didn't do it during the 6-game skid, but they've won 3 out of 4. In none of those 3 wins were they particularly dominant or good at the plate. Other than, Manny Machado and Gavin Sheets, the lineup is pretty abysmal right now. They only have 5 hits in the game last night. Other than Manny's home run, the top of the lineup, black hole right now. Tatis looks terrible. There's nothing else I can tell you. I see people complain. What's wrong with Tatis? He's in a huge slump right now. He's not seeing the ball well. He's chasing pitches that he wasn't chasing earlier in the season. He's off. Do I think he will get back to being Fernando Tatis?
Yes.
Well, hopefully sooner rather than later, but he's not Tatis right now. Arise, he's in a worse slump than he was when he started the year 0 for 16 or whatever it was. And he's around 0 for 14 now, I think, since the start of the last series. But
he's chasing.
Oh, my goodness.
He's swinging at balls.
He struck out for the first time in his career, swing and miss 3 times. That had never happened in his. Think about that. That's incredible. His entire big league career, he had never swung and missed at 3 pitches in the same at bat.
That was on Sunday. I was driving back listening to that game, and the surprise in Jesse's voice it was like, this has never happened. I don't think it's happened. I think they looked and it had never happened before. He swung at ball 4 last night, swung at a bad pitch when he came up the second time, ball in on his hands. Yeah, he's slumping too.
Jackson Merrill is showing some signs, but he's still chasing. He's not hitting for any extra bases or power. He's getting an occasional single here or there, but he's not doing what Jackson Merrill was doing earlier in the season. Jake Cronenworth putting together some good at-bats. Didn't have any hits yesterday. Was up when Tyler Wade scored, and he had to at least extend the at-bat and draw a pitch in the dirt. I'll give Jake Cronenworth some credit for that. He had the big home run, obviously. Go-ahead home run over the weekend in Atlanta. Jose Iglesias is actually one of their hotter hitters at this point. He got 2 hits at the bottom of the lineup.
Nice to see him come around a little bit.
Catchers, I couldn't tell you the last time a Padres catcher got a hit. Let's see. Martin Maldonado got a hit on May 9th. What day is today? May 27th. That's not great. And then Elias Diaz, he got a hit on... No, he did have a hit on the 24th on Saturday. He was 1 for 4 with a double. So There you go. But Padres are getting nothing. That's 2/3 of their lineup, essentially, not producing anything significant right now.
Yeah.
That's a tough look. It's going to be hard to win games consistently until you get at least a couple of those guys going. Tatis and Merrill get going again. Arise and Tatis, Arise and Merrill. You've got to get more production from the top guys in your lineup. And you've got to be able to win a couple of games 7-2 and 8-3. You cannot survive on sneaking out 4-3 extra inning wins over the Marlins all season long. No. So in that sense, I know what you're coming from. That's not a great win, but again, it is a good win because you need to find ways to win those games when you're not playing at their best.
I mean, you cannot talk about yesterday's game without talking about Randy Vasquez. I mean, and we say it every time we come in here. I don't know what devil magic he's employing. I don't know what voodoo he practices, Ben. But that game looked like it was about to get out of hand very early, very, very early. And the way that he was able to knuckle down, nut up, whatever it is you want to say, bear down. Manny talked about it after the game. Didn't let it spiral. Randy Vasquez, I don't know how he does it, but I'm so glad that he does because he keeps you in the ball game. He is a competitor and he competes when he's out there. Did not have near his best stuff last night, and was able to, let's see, 3-0. He's thrown 37 pitches. So you're 37 pitches into your outing and it's 3-0. Bad guys. And you're like, okay, this is great. Our offense is not scoring. I need to really, really figure out how to get out. And he did. He took 52 more pitches to get the last 14 of 15 batters he faced. Keeps you right in the ball game. You get the error. You get a big knock by Iglesias. It's 3-2. Everybody's breathing a little more easily at that point. But Randy Vasquez deserves a ton of credit for going out and being the bulldog that he is.
The worry with Vasquez, of course, is he doesn't strike out a lot of guys.
Yep.
So there's going to be balls in play. And sometimes when that happens, you get an inning like the first inning. Were a couple hard hit, that double was hard hit into the gap, but there were a couple of soft, dribblers and singles that weren't hard hit, and you can put together a rally against Randy Vasquez. If he doesn't get a double play grounder, if the balls find holes, you can be in trouble. And then one home run in the wrong time, and you're toast. Now, he gave up a solo home run to Sanchez in the second. Didn't end up killing him because he's, as you said, he's a gamer.
No doubt.
He battles, and he battled back, and he ended up with another quality start. Went 6 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. And to me, the key for Randy, and they talked about it a ton on the broadcast, just can't walk guys. You know you're going to give up hits, so you cannot give them free base runners. And the success that he has had in May directly correlates to the fact that he has walked only 1 guy in each start, not 4. That's a huge difference for Randy Vasquez. And you'll say, got to be careful with Sanchez. Don't give him something to hit. No, throw strikes.
Yep.
And you're going to give up some hits if you're Randy Vasquez. I like what we have seen from him this month. And you know who I also liked what I saw from yesterday was Ryan Weathers.
Oh, yeah.
He looks good. He looks real good.
Yep.
Lost weight. Looks more competitive than he did when he was with the Padres. The velocity plays, the changeup was really good, keeping it down at the knees. That was giving a bunch of guys, not just Tatis, but a bunch of guys were having fits with that. And if his defense didn't let him down, he would have thrown probably 6 shutout innings and probably picked up a win after. By the way, he's only made 2 starts before. They were both against the Cubs. That may be the best offensive team in the National League. And he held them to 1 run, 1 solo home run each time. Ryan Weathers is off to a terrific start so far this season. He looks like what the Padres had hoped he would turn into when they drafted him with the 7th overall pick, 6 or 7 years ago. Never did in San Diego, but he is turning into that now in Miami.
And it takes that sometimes. And one of my Dodger fan buddies yesterday was tweeting at me, how do you let this guy go? Padres really swung and missed. Again, he's a guy that had every opportunity to shine here. Did not work out. Sometimes it takes being traded to the Miami Marlins to realize, okay, this is it. Like, I need to drop some weight. I need to figure it out on the mound. I need to trust the 99 that I have coming out of my left arm. And I need to knuckle down and be a professional. He was never that competitive here. We had issues with his parents tweeting about the organization and how they're doing things wrong. And Ryan doesn't do anything wrong. And you need to leave Ryan in, and he gets better as the game goes. Like, all of those things add up to where you say, all right, is the juice worth the squeeze? And this is not uncommon to the Padres organization. You're going to find guys that couldn't get it done in New York, or couldn't get it done in Philly, or couldn't get it done in Chicago, and they move on. And they say, this is where I belong. This is where I need to be. Also, I need to look in the mirror and figure out what I want to be. Ryan Weathers has done that. I credit him a ton with revitalizing, his career. He's got ace stuff.
I think it's fair to at least ask the question, like, why didn't you get through to him?
Yeah.
If you're the Padres organization, you wish you would have gotten through, because this is exactly what they wanted.
Oh, God, yeah.
This is what they tried so hard.
Imagine him in our rotation right now.
They really wanted this version of Ryan Weathers. They wanted him to lose some weight. They wanted him to focus in more. And it looks like he has finally done it. It's not like they didn't. This is what they envisioned.
Sure.
And they just couldn't get it out of him. And maybe they never could. Like you said, it may have taken a shock to the system. Being traded. Not in a premier deal either. It
was Garrett Cooper.
Yeah, it wasn't a premier deal, and it was maybe a wake up call for Ryan Weathers that he responded well to, and good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Good for him.
Absolutely, man. I wanted it for him here. He never looked comfortable here, and again, hey, man, sometimes losing it all is what somebody needs, or feeling like you're about to lose it all. Is what makes you focus. And yeah, Sean Reynolds was a part of that deal as well. But Garrett Cooper and Sean Reynolds for Ryan Weathers, and he's gone in and bro, I mean, if you're the Miami Marlins, you look at him and you go, that guy has the potential to be, a 1 or 2, especially if Sandy doesn't stick around in Miami, which he probably won't. That guy could be the top of our rotation. And he's a left-hander. He throws absolute smoke. The pitches that he walked Manny on, that Manny laid off of, bro, from the left side, just the down and in, nasty stuff. He looked really, really good. The changeup, like you said, that he'd end up punching Manny out on was A+. I mean, no one hits that, So good for him. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over the Ryan Weathers spilled milk.
Let's talk about the end of the game, though. Obviously, Manny's big home run, his third in 4 games.
Huge.
When he gets hot.
Bunches.
He gets hot. They come in bunches.
The lean, man.
When you see you, just be patient.
Boy,
man.
When you see the lean back, it's like the best sight in baseball. Nothing makes me more happy. I'm so happy.
Tony Gwynn Jr.
And
the lean back by Manny. You don't really need to even watch where the ball is going. You have that it's out of there. That tied it up, but they were unable to score in the 9th. The bullpen gets it done in the 10th, Jason Adam, and then unable to push across the run. That was frustrating. In the bottom of the 10th, when you got your top of your order coming up,
yeah, it's tough.
Tatis can't move the runner over. You can't score. You can't get a hit to score the run in the 10th. I was looking at, is this going to be another extra inning loss for the Padres? Yeah. But Adrian Morejon, who has been really, really good, was now three outings in a row, has been fantastic. He keeps the Marlins from scoring. And then you get to the bottom of the 11th. And you got Manny out at second base.
Yep.
Gavin Sheets against a lefty does a nice job pulling the ball to get Manny over to third.
Beautiful, beautiful baseball play. I tell my kids all the time, it will not show up in the scorebook. You don't get credited for a sacrifice. You actually get, dinged, for an offer in that spot. You can't win that game without that baseball play.
And then gutsy call by Mike Schilt to send Tyler Wade out to third. Because remember, if he doesn't score, you've now taken your best hitter out of the game. He may come up again in the next inning or in the 13th inning if this keeps going. But you're going, we're probably not going to use Manny again. Let's go for it here. We're talking maybe a half step. Manny's a good base runner, but Tyler's faster. So you're going for the half step there. And boy, did it potentially play in. I know that he didn't hold on to the ball on the tag, but that half step might have been the difference in the game, calling for the pinch runner there with Tyler Wade to score on that wild pitch that gave the Padres a 4-3 win. That's called winning on the smallest of margins.
Well, we had to. He backed himself into a corner a little bit when he pinch hit Diaz for Maldonado, and then you had Diaz leading off. But again, if Fernando can get him to third, you need a sac fly. Diaz is going to score on a deep enough sac fly, no big deal. It didn't happen, and I do feel like we dodged a little bit of a bullet there yesterday. But again, with limited options on the bench, it's tough.
We got so much more Padres to talk about, but I also want to bring up what happened on Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Incredible game.
Incredible.
Really ugly scene. After the game, though, we got comments from the teams reacting to the brawl at the Snap. We'll get to all that coming up next year with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
weekend that was in Atlanta. First, though, I do want to talk a little bit of soccer. SDFC Woods has now played 9 home matches in their franchise history. 7 of them went off without a hitch in the stands. Good behavior by all. There were 2, though, that got a little bit rowdy and out of hand. One, when they hosted LAFC, and this past Saturday when they hosted LA Galaxy. I'm trying to come up with some sort of commonality between the two. You can help me if you've got any thoughts on the subject. But again, matches against Kansas City, Colorado, Dallas, Salt Lake, Seattle, they all went fine. Columbus, no problems. But against LAFC and LA Galaxy, there were trouble in the stands, especially this past Saturday when things got out of hand following the goal, as they like to say in the beautiful game, the goal at the death. By Chucky Lozano.
Great term.
In the 5th minute of stoppage time that turned a 1-1 draw into a 2-1 win for San Diego FC in the final waning moments on a huge mistake. Even as a non-savvy soccer guy, I could tell what a horrible mistake that was by the Galaxy defender to not only not clear it, but actually hit it backwards right into a streaking Anders Treyer's path.
So good, man.
Set up the only way that SDFC could have scored a goal before the time ran out in that game was by doing that.
He said, the coach said that was a low percentage pass there. I would say so. They are a massively exciting team. They are a massively exciting team. They really seem to care about their craft. They really seem to care about their city. They really love playing for Mikey Varas. We love Mikey Varas. And I was bummed that, after the biggest win of the season so far, Mikey Varas has to go on and address what happened in the stands. I'm not going to say I'm surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I've lived here long enough to know that these things happen a lot. Now, I can't speak to what it used to be like, Ben, when Raiders fans would come in. I heard it was a bloodbath.
The parking lot at the Q got pretty rowdy when the Raiders were in town, for sure.
Look, there's a difference in rowdy. Rowdy's fun. When you're rowdy and you're having a good time and I'm yelling at you and you're yelling at me, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. When it turns into, here come beer cups flying, here comes beer being thrown, here comes punches being thrown, here comes a brawl. It sucks. It sucks. It may, for a guy like me that doesn't really like to leave his house anyway, it makes it tough to go, I'd love to take my 7-year-old and 4-year-old out there and see what's up. It happens at Petco Park a lot when the Dodgers come to town. And again, I'm not blaming everybody from LA. I'm not. I'm saying that the temperature gets turned up. San Diego fans are pissed that they're here and loud and boisterous, and LA fans come into town like they own the place, and it's not a good combo. It's just not a good combo. It's not a good combo at Petco Park. It's not a good combo at Snapdragon Stadium.
And I will say that I think part of the genesis of the drama here in soccer, because there's no long-standing history or rivalry. No. This is a brand new team. There shouldn't be this much animosity between the two fan bases yet. There's no history there. SDFC is now 2-0 against the LA Galaxy. I'm sure they're frustrated. Galaxy, the defending champions, have not won a game all season.
Right.
I'm sure their fan base is frustrated by that. But there's no extra animosity toward San Diego FC, or at least there shouldn't be. But this is a carryover from Padres Dodgers as well.
No question.
I mean, this is
San Diego against LA.
This is San Diego against LA. This is a history now of just fan bases and cities. In some ways, I kind of like it. Like, it's a real rivalry. It has grown into the West Coast version of Boston versus New York.
No doubt. And look,
good and bad.
The teams from LA, like the Dodger fans, don't like to lose, and they don't like to lose to the Padres. And the Galaxy and LAFC, they don't want to lose to San Diego FC. They just don't. And I wouldn't always say that they win with grace. I wouldn't always say that they lose with grace. And so, I think it's going to happen. And I think ultimately, the rivalry is a great thing for sports. Nothing better than a rivalry weekend. And, baseball tries to manufacture some these days. But, you look at baseball right now, it's Dodgers Padres, period. As much as they want it to be Dodgers Giants, I don't think anybody cares at all. I really don't. And as far as the soccer goes, yeah, we've got our two, and they're in LA, and I think that's how it's going to be.
Dodgers fans, the casuals, which is a lot of them.
Yeah,
they know who they hate on the Padres.
Right.
They hate Manny. They hate Tatis.
Yep. They hated Profar.
They don't even know any Giants players. They couldn't
100%.
They couldn't even name.
There's
Giants
no one on the team that they hate. They're like, oh man, I hate Kyle Harrison,
Mike Yastrzemski.
Yeah,
sucks.
Right. Forget it.
But they have players they hate.
Oh, they loathe. Well, right, and we have players that we loathe on their team. And that's just how it goes. And they don't like to lose, and they've gotten their ass kicked a couple times this season, and that leads to San Diego fans being very boisterous, as they should be, and it leads to LA fans being a little bit prickly, and that's how it goes.
Frankie, you were there at the game. Some firsthand observations, not just of the fight, but obviously it was one of those things that happens in soccer. San Diego FC looked like they were controlling this, they say, the run of play, but the goal for LA Galaxy in the first half comes against the run of play. Now you're down 1-0, and it's a game you're supposed to win at home against a team that has not won. There's nothing you can do better than responding in less than a minute, which is what they did with the Luca De La Torre goal. That was a huge, I think, stress reliever, momentum booster, whatever you want to call it, for SDFC late in the first half.
Yeah, it didn't feel that way. At least for me, it didn't feel as though San Diego had control. It showed in the possession numbers, but it didn't feel like San Diego FC was really in control of that match. It felt like it was going back and forth. If anything, it was leaning a little bit in the Galaxy's favor. Then Fagundes scores that goal in the 40th minute. It's like, oh boy, that's not a good time to let up a goal 5 minutes before you're going into the locker room.
Probably going into halftime down now.
Yeah.
It changes the whole complexion of the game for the second half, but they come back, score right away.
Yeah, immediately. I was still tweeting when they scored the goal, so I didn't even see it firsthand. And then you're like, okay, now the crowd's back in it. The ultra section was going nuts the entire game, which was great to hear. But it got the general crowd back in the game, go into the half, and then they looked like a completely different team in the second half.
But they couldn't find the goal.
No.
And so it looked like 1-1 was going to be the final. Still going to be a disappointing result. And I kind of wish, I wish I was in the stands for the last goal. You got the call from Apple TV, what it sounded like, at least inside Snapdragon Stadium.
Let's play it now.
Frente, he played a dangerous ball. Could have led to a counter. Garces completely miscues that one. Dreyer in behind. Dreyer trying to cut back on Nelson. Dreyer with the cross.
Chills.
Sounded like the place went pretty nuts.
Chucky Lozano wins it late for San Diego as Galaxy crumble yet again.
Oh, I love that, as Galaxy crumble yet again. The British have a way of sticking the knife in and turning it. The Galaxy crumble again. You're worthless. I loved it. Loved it.
Of course, then, you think, all right, maybe part of the fact was that it was decided so late that everyone was still a little amped up when the game was over, contributed to some of the fighting that went on in the stands. It was like an hour after the game or so, like before, police, squad cars started arriving that hadn't been there. Like they already had some police presence like they have for any big event, but they had to call in like additional units, get them in there, get people out of the stadium safely at the end of the game. After the game, joint statement issued from both San Diego FC and the LA Galaxy. San Diego FC and the LA Galaxy are united in our efforts to foster a safe and welcoming environment for all fans attending our matches. There is no room for violence in our sport. The incidents that occurred following Saturday's match at Snapdragon Stadium do not reflect the values of either club and are entirely unacceptable. We urge all fans to support the game we all love with passion and respect, ensuring that every match remains a safe and enjoyable experience for everyone in attendance. And then they go on about the code of conduct.
Sure.
But, you can say that there's no room for violence in soccer.
It's pretty violent.
But
there's quite a bit of violence between fan
It
bases.
does feel like there's two entirely separate soccer fan bases.
No question.
There's the
very
warm, supportive.
Yes.
We're going to cheer all game long.
Yep.
We're going to be entirely positive.
Yeah.
There's like no room for even negativity. Not only no room for violence. For a certain segment of the fans, there's like no room for even criticism or negativity. It's all about empowerment and positivity. And then there's the absolute other end of the spectrum that is like
the hooligans, man.
I mean, the hooligans, the violence, the threats toward, players, the actual violence that's been committed in the history of soccer toward players, storming the field, crushing, people crushed to death at English soccer matches. There is a beautiful side and there is an ugly side to the game of soccer. Of course, they're trying to eliminate the ugly side, especially here in MLS in San Diego.
Yeah, and, I hope it does. You do want it to be a positive environment. Things are going to happen. Things are going to spill over. I see it listen, I know I make fun of LA fans. I see it at Padres games all the time. I've seen, people overserved and getting into it and fights in the parking lot and things like that. It does happen. I wish that it didn't, but it does. It happens in every city. Every team's got them. Every team has a group of fans that don't really care about the outcome of the game. They're more riding for the city. They're more riding for the tailgate, the Cutwaters, whatever it may be. The Cutwater crew is what I call them. They don't really care about the nuance of the game. They just want to go and party and have a great time and sometimes get in a fight, and it does happen.
All right, we can talk more soccer if you want. I know the Wave also had a big win on Sunday night.
Huge, man. They're rolling.
5 goals. They are absolutely on fire. What a turnaround for that team.
What a massive turnaround.
Because last year was rough.
It was dismal.
Alex Morgan retires. They have to trade away, sell off some of their best players, and you think, here's a couple years of rebuilding for the Wave. No, they're right back near the top of the table in the NWSL, and they are the hottest team in the league right now. Absolutely on fire. A record 5 goals in their 5-2 win against the North Carolina Courage and their former star Jaden Shaw, who was back in town on Sunday night at Snapdragon Stadium. So congratulations to the Wave. All right, we've got Don't Do This is coming up next. Speaking of soccer, it was a ugly scene at a soccer victory parade over the weekend in England.
I wouldn't even say ugly. I would say absolutely terrifying. Terrifying scene. And local kid finally got the call up.
Love those stories.
Me too.
Get to that coming up after a check of traffic with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I want to tell you about sdfatloss.com. Thank you, Mike Schill.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real.
Thinking.
3 stories from the world of sports that make us all shake our heads.
Why? How many times do I have to tell you?
I'm sorry, I fudged up, guys.
You idiot. You moron.
Dumbass.
The apple sometimes does fall from the tree.
Don't do this.
Do not tweet that.
With Ben and Woods.
I like a Nickelback song or two.
On 97.3 The Fan.
DDT on a Tuesday, brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't
leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do
set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com. This is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Getting us started today, Stephen Woods.
I've got the umpires in my crosshairs, as I usually do, to be honest. I do. I'm like Schulte. I respect the job. I know it's very difficult. I know you guys get a lot right, but when you get it wrong is when it goes south. And it went wrong and went south for Javi Baez and the Tigers yesterday. They got a 1-run lead in their game, and Javi Baez is up at the plate. A very, very horrible strike 3 call. Phil Cuzzy is behind the dish. Now, Phil Cuzzy skated for many years because Angel Hernandez and Laz Diaz and Doug Eddings exist. Now, Angel retired. It's going to bump you up to one of the worst in the business. And Phil Cuzzy, you know it's him. You see the hair. the lettuce coming out the back of the helmet. You're like, oh God, that's Phil Cuzzy back there. We're dead. Javi Baez took a ball off the plate, really low, bad call, got rung up on strike 3, and turned around and said some stuff to Phil Cuzzy as he was walking away. And Phil Cuzzy, as umpires have been known to do lately, man, the mask comes off, the finger pointing starts, ends up throwing him out of the game again as he was walking away. A.J. Hinch was coming out to defend his player. A.J. was one step away from getting in front of him, taking the heat. Phil Cuzzy banged Jose, or didn't bang him, but ran him from the game, Javi Baez, before Hinch could get out there. So they asked Javi after the game about what exactly went down.
I only say, I'm looking for that pitch. It's not a strike. That's only I say.
Pause.
And then.
So he said, strike 3, you're out. He goes, man, I'm looking for that pitch. That is not an effing strike. Okay. As he's walking away.
Right. Which is different than saying F you
right.
to the umpire.
Yeah. You blind SOB. Right.
It was just
man,
about the pitch.
I'm looking for that pitch.
That's usually an important
qualifier
strike when it comes to whether an umpire is going to eject a player. You directed at me, you're out. You just make a comment like, I
had that low.
That wasn't a bleeping
not
strike.
A strike.
That's usually okay. You walk away when you're doing that, you're not going to get run.
And you?
That's only I say. And then he said, don't point at it. Walk out or something. And I say, what do you mean walk out? I'm asking you something. And he just threw me out. It's not even about the call. It's about the competition, Like he struck me out with a pitch almost that it bounced in the grass, and they threw it out there because I know I can get to it, and I make my adjustment. I win the battle, and then he messed it up. So it's not even about the call. It's about how he treated me. I'm not an animal. We can talk. We can argue, and that's it. If he would have told me, okay, I missed it, I would have. Shut up and we'll go out to it because we competing and I know he's not perfect, but don't treat me like that.
There's always a chance that you may see umpires again. These guys are around the game. Is there anything that you guys do going forward that can make that relationship a little bit better?
I mean, if they want to take it personal, we take it personal too.
I love that. Pause it. That's plenty from Javi Baez. But what I did love about that is, hey man, if you say to me, okay, Javi, I might have missed that call. I'm done. I walk away in the heat of competition. I'm up there competing, trying to win this AB, and I was looking for that pitch, and you blew it. If you tell me, hey, man, I might have missed that, I'm okay with that. Just wear it. Like, I have to wear it now, and you've run me out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an umpire and you've got to say that 15 times a game, you probably shouldn't be an umpire. But every once in a while, you're going to miss one. I totally agree with Javi Baez there.
Absolutely, dude. So I thought, again, man, there's no recourse for these guys, by the way. None, zero. Major League Baseball really does nothing when they really make themselves a part of each and every game. So if you paid money to go see Phil Cuzzy yesterday in Detroit, you got your money's worth.
All right, just a horrible scene over the weekend in Liverpool, England. Now, you're not going to Liverpool, right? You're going to Manchester.
No, I am.
Oh, you are going to Liverpool?
Yeah, I'm going to Liverpool when I go over.
I mean, you probably will be fine, but they were celebrating Liverpool's Premier League victory, having their parade for their championship. Everyone lining the streets.
That's the dream, right?
Teams coming through, and then a 53-year-old British man from Liverpool drives his car right in to the crowd. I mean, it's amazing. I don't believe anyone has died. There are 4 people who remain in critical condition, including 2 with serious injuries. 27 people taken to the hospital. 47 people injured. The police say that 4 people, including 1 child, were trapped under the vehicle. They don't believe it was an act of terrorism. They're not investigating it as like a terrorist incident. As for the reasoning behind it, what happened, I'm sure that there will be more that comes out on that as the investigation. The police surrounded the vehicle. Fans were trying to get at this driver.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? He was arrested, obviously, and they're continuing the investigation of what happened during this victory parade. But you wait so long to see your team, have the championship, and then you're celebrating, and something like this happens. It's just awful and tragic, just horrible.
And there's no reasoning given, and they're saying it definitely wasn't terrorism. What was he frustrated that there was traffic? Like, you had to know that there was going to be a parade. driving your car through, I think 53 people injured in this. And again, like you said, luckily no one has passed away yet. But again, 4 people in critical condition. Just a horrible scene. And how much fun is that? Like, let's go down to the parade today and hope nobody drives their car.
I mean, hopefully someday we get our parade here in San Diego. Don't want anything to mar it and make it a sad day or one that we don't want to remember fondly.
I would like to watch it from a balcony, perhaps. Looking down upon
that would be fun.
That would be much better, like in our own little Mardi Gras. I digress, but let's do some do this here.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Very cool story. Look at me now, the San Diego connection. Here it comes again. Wanted to congratulate East Lake's Marcelo Mayer for getting the call up to the big leagues for the Boston Red Sox. I happen to know his agent, John Boggs, and his son Steve is one of my best friends. And I know this was a long time coming. I remember when they signed Marcelo. I've gotten to hit with Marcelo, Ben. I got to play golf with Marcelo. He's such a good kid. 22 years old, gets called up to the big leagues.
Now, did he get called up? I heard he was in the middle of 2 games of a doubleheader in the minor leagues.
Correct. And he got called into his manager's office. I think it was Chad Tracy. And Chad said, hey, man, just got the call from the big club. They do not want you to play game 2 today. Abundance of caution. Okay. We just don't want you to play game 2. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, and actually, it would be hard for you to play game 2 here because you're going to be playing game 2 in Boston today. They're in Worcester. And he said, you're going to be playing game 2 in Fenway Park. And he's like, no way. Gets the call. Now, the funny part is Marcelo lost his car keys 3 weeks ago. Has no idea where they are.
3 weeks.
Been catching rides to the ballpark. Has no idea where his keys are. If you've met Marcelo, you're like, yeah, I get it.
Put an air tag on those things.
That's right. I got one on mine. And so they're like, hey, kid, you got to get to Fenway Park. He's like, I don't have keys to my car. So I don't know what to do. Hey, Clubby drove him to Fenway
Park. You're a big leaguer now. Yeah. You got people for that.
Got people for it. Drives him in. Actually, K'd up 3 times his first game. Ended up getting a knock in his second game. But the funny thing is, man, very first chance he gets. Now, they put him at third. He plays all over the infield. He's a shortstop by trade. Put him at third. First ball hit to him. Picks it. No problem. Shuffles. Takes his throw. Bounces it. Needed a phenomenal pick at first base to bail him out. And you could see the relief kind of wash over him. This is the big leagues. They pick those here for the most part. Very happy for him. Very happy for the Boggs family. Marcelo,
his family caught a late flight to go watch him over the weekend.
Yeah, so I was talking to Boggsy, and he's like, oh, my God, they called him up in game 2. We're going to miss his debut. They made it out in time for the next game, and it was awesome, man. He's such a good kid. And I really think he's going to have a good career ahead of him. He's such a level-headed dude, man. Getting to spend some time with him, just kind of, no big deal. But now he's a big leaguer playing for the Boston Red Sox, San Diego kid. Somebody my son really looks up to as well. So very cool moment. Very, very happy for all parties.
Congratulations to Marcelo. And that is Don't and Do This for a Tuesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, when we last left you on Friday morning, Padres were in the midst of a 6-game losing streak. How did they turn it around? We'll discuss the weekend that was in Atlanta against the Braves. More Padres talk coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But quickly, let me tell you about
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Games and the Braves missed the playoffs by a couple of games, you can point back to the 7-game season series in which the Padres, net gained 5 games on the Atlanta Braves as potentially an absolute make or break moment in both teams' seasons. And, Padres got off to such a hot start, Woods, winning their first 4. They look great. I mean, they were pretty unbeatable early in the season. But they did not go into Atlanta looking unbeatable at all.
Not even a little bit.
As beatable as they've been all year, with the offense scuffling, losers of 6 straight. They go in on Friday night, and of course, on the very first pitch, on the bottom of the first inning against Nick Pivetta, Ronald Acuna Jr. returns. It's the ball so hard. It's like, no way. It was both predictable and shocking at the same time.
I saw a lot of people going, why would you throw it there? Look, I think if you're Nick Pivetta, all right, here we go. First pitch. This guy hasn't played in 2 years. He's gonna want to get comfortable, maybe see one. Throws it down Broadway. Acuna puts, again, one of the most beautiful right-handed swings in baseball. Him, Manny, guys like that. When he gets it, it's gone. There is just no doubt about it. He hit that ball a mile and got the crowd at Truist Park, Ben, on their feet, going bananas for Ronald Acuna Jr., who I absolutely adore and love watching him play the game of baseball. I did not like that. But, hey, man, Nicky P, he made a mistake there. He made a mistake, and Ronald Acuna Jr. punished it.
And Nick Pivetta wasn't as lights out as he has been with the Padres, but after that he battled hard for 6 innings, got out of some trouble, 3 walks, 4 hits, struck out 7 though, and got the outs that he needed to keep the Braves at that 1 run. And the Padres would tie it up on what I thought was maybe one of the more significant at-bats of the season. And that was Gavin Sheets hitting a solo home run off Chris Sale.
Yep.
a lefty, and Gavin Sheets at the start of the year, remember, was not even in the lineup against left-handers. He's become too valuable to leave on the bench, even against lefties. And as he has gotten more opportunities, you've seen him. I mean, you can see him getting more comfortable against left-handed pitching. And to do that, and I asked him about it when I was in the clubhouse yesterday, what that home run against Sale, I mean, how much confidence does that give you? And he goes, that one was actually pretty big. He said, I felt really good about that one. Getting Chris Sale, as tough of a left-handed pitcher as there is in the game right now. And to put that kind of swing and go deep on him was a pretty big thing, I thought, for Gavin Sheets. And he tended to agree with that assessment when I talked to him yesterday.
In that game, though, on Friday night, again, you heard people complaining about the win yesterday because it took an error to get you a win. Anybody have a problem with Eli White's horrible base running on Friday night? I know I surely didn't. I have never seen that in all my years. Never. I've never seen that at the big league level, what we witnessed on Friday night. Eli White.
Pinch runner in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Yep.
Robert Suarez is in. The Padres had just taken the lead on Manny Machado's home run off Raisel Iglesias. By the way, he had been 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts against Iglesias before that home run.
Threw him a hanging slider, and he just belted it.
And you've got a runner on second. Pinch runner, Eli White's at second.
Yep.
There is one out.
One away.
And
Ozzie Albies up.
Albie singles to center. Hard line drive. Jackson Merrill gives it a bit of a look, but it wasn't a full-on, deep
was not
or
a deep,
anything.
no.
It was just a line drive that bounced in front of him. And there was no chance I think Eli White was going to score on that play. And
Merrill was charging.
The third base coach gave him what was fairly the universal stop sign. Don't go home. Just stop here at third.
Here.
As opposed to the universal
go back. Go
sign.
back. Go back.
It's I mean, this is baseball. This is JV. This is Little League. I mean, the difference between go, winding your arm, stop, and go back where you're waving your arm and telling him to turn around is unmistakable. How you could make that mistake in the big leagues, even as a young pinch runner, I have no idea what he was doing.
Eli White was 1 foot from third base, when he decided, I have to stop and get back. Luis Ariz, now on a play like that to center field, that's going to be the first baseman's cut. Now, in a high school game, your first baseman is standing generally probably in front of the mound with his arms up. He hit me, Jackson. Hit me here. In the big leagues, with Jackson Merrill on a charge, Luis Ariz is like, you're shooting 4 here. I don't know that I necessarily need to be there with my hands up. That being said, Jackson throws it. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Luis Ariz comes in, picks it, turns, and fires to second base, where they tag Eli White out, who inexplicably went back to the bag. 2 outs. And then the next thing you know, the game is over. And Eli White having to walk off the field. I felt horrible for him because that is a really, really bad mistake. Tuiasa Sopo is the third base coach. Matt, I believe, is his first name. He originally gave him the stop, and then when he saw him go back, the hands dropped down to the waist. Like, what is he doing? What in the world is happening?
He had to be screaming, no.
Tim Flannery told me one time, the great Tim Flannery. Woodsy, I don't know if you know this. Baseball players are very stupid. They're very, very dumb. Now, they're the best athletes in the world. Nobody plays 162 games. They're absolutely fine-tuned, but they're a dumb bunch. He told me at one point in his coaching career, he goes, do you know that at one point I had to make the signs so simple where if I walk towards you, I want you to bunt. If I walk away from you, I don't want you to bunt, because they couldn't read what he was doing with his hands. They missed too many signs. He's like, let me make this easy. If I walk at you, bunt. If I walk away from you, don't bunt. Okay? Geniuses. They're dumb sometimes. And I don't know how you could have made it any dumber for Eli White, but it was such a bonehead play. And the Padres took advantage. Robert Suarez came in, got the last out. Padres win 2-1. 2-1. I mean, it was.
They needed it badly.
They needed it so badly
there.
Oh, my God.
Dominic in the chat points out after the game, Manny said, I had no idea what happened. He was facing the other way.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Manny turns around like,
what just happened? Where'd he go?
He's here a second ago. Where did he go? Wait, he's out? Why is he back at second?
I mean,
base?
I've seen I've seen plenty of guys leave a little early and have to get back to the bag and re-tag. I got thrown out at home plate doing it for Paulie this year. Paulie hit a missile out to right, and I didn't know if the guy caught it or not. I had a run back tag. I got thrown out by 20 feet. You see dumb things, but on a single, how do you not know that ball's hitting the ground? Like in Atlanta sports radio, they probably didn't have a show Saturday, but this, Tuesday morning, they're like, Eli, why? What is your problem? I've never seen that, dude.
Unsung hero on Friday. Adrian Morejon, 5 up, 5 down. Looked as good as I think we've ever seen him in relief. He's been solid since then as well. The other 2 games, a little mixed results over the weekend. We'll talk about those right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Eliminate Termite, the orange oil experts. What happened, guys? We were doing so well on our freeways. Now we got to crash northbound side of the 5 before the 163. Several vehicles involved. They're all in the center divide. Accident northbound 125 at Spring Street. Car and motorcycle in the center divide. Also in the Coronado Bridge, heading over the island. Stalled car taking up that left lane right around mid-span. And in the North County, westbound 78 past Broadway, we have reports of a crash over the right shoulder. Have termites? Eliminate Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminatetermite.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Now, if we're being honest, Saturday's game was a bit of a lost cause before it even started, with Michael King getting scratched very late. And the Padres had no reason to think Michael King was in any distress, came out of his previous starts just fine, and then woke up on Saturday thinking he slept on his shoulder funny and had this weird shoulder tightness or stiffness. And they thought, well, it'll blow over. We all do that, and it blows over after an hour and you're fine. Never blew over. So they had to make the late decision to throw Sean Reynolds out there and essentially go with their back end of the bullpen for the entire game. I actually thought Sean Reynolds looked pretty good. 2 2/3 innings, gave up an opposite field home run to Matt Olson, ended up getting charged with 3 runs. 1 was inherited, 6 hits, but some of that was soft contact off of Sean Reynolds. And I thought there was some potential there to stretch out Sean Reynolds and even think about him starting at some point. I know he's been valuable and is viewed as a potential key piece of the bullpen for the Padres, maybe even a late inning guy in the future. But liked what I saw, and at least temporarily, if the Padres need another starter, Sean Reynolds could be a guy that they ask to, maybe even go 4 innings next time if that's something that they need, because I thought he looked all right out there against a tougher Braves lineup.
Yeah, certainly something to look at. I think the biggest thing for me was Grant Holmes. Again, looked like a guy you could probably get to. You didn't. Only ended up scoring 1 run off of Grant Holmes. And hey, man, that's a game you flush and move on to the next day. Now, this happens, and it's happening in LA. It's happening here. It's happening really on any team that has injuries. The organization isn't exactly so upfront with what's going on. I was of the opinion that, he slept funny, he's going to miss this start. I did not foresee an IL stint. Ben, did you? I don't think really any of us did. Do you get mad when things like this happen? Like when the team doesn't tell you, this doesn't look great, we're probably going to have to put him on the IL. Do you feel deceived? Because I saw a lot of people upset with the way the Padres handle their injuries. As well. I see it a lot. And I guess I don't worry about it anymore like I used to, probably just because, we've been around this so long that you look at it and go, yeah, why is anyone acting surprised right now?
Yeah, I don't want to tell you how to fan, but I do think the people who get upset about that need to chill just a little bit, because
it's chill.
Well, it's partly it's gamesmanship. I mean, you don't ever want to reveal more than you have to, because you're competing against 29 other teams that will potentially use that information against you. And part of it's human nature. The Padres, like the rest of us, would like to think the best of, like, this is optimistic that we're not going to lose him for that long. Clearly, it's a more serious issue with Michael King. They don't even know exactly what it was or still is. According to Mike Schilt yesterday, doctors still trying to figure it out. It's not in a normal spot where pitchers get hurt. It's not an elbow. It's not a forearm. It's the scapula. It's kind of behind the shoulder. It's important, but it's not something that you generally see like, oh, this is overuse or it ripped on a weird pitch. That it's not that. So they're just trying to figure out exactly what it is that Michael King is dealing with. And hopefully there's not a huge bad track record. Oh yeah, pitchers, as soon as you feel that your
scapula goes.
No one really knows what this one is, which is both concerning, but also, it just may be nothing. It just may be as we all do. And time to time, something got tweaked, and it's.
Are you a side sleeper?
I am usually a side sleeper.
I'm a side sleeper too. I flip back and
my
forth.
arm falls asleep under me, and then I wake up, and it's like you get the tinglies, and
I go to the other side. As a fellow side sleeper, I can kind of relate. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't ever feel deceived. Really, I don't feel deceived. I just feel like sometimes it takes a couple of days. I don't know. I don't feel deceived. I feel like this is part of the natural progression of a baseball season all the time. Like pitchers get banged up for whatever reason. And I don't know. It doesn't get me. It doesn't get me all fired
just always up. Assumes it's probably a little bit worse than they're telling you. I mean, and if it isn't, then be pleasantly surprised that it turned out to be absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But, Darvish, King, any pitchers in any organization, it's almost always a little worse. They also tend to be a little more cautious. They're always optimistic at the beginning, but when push comes to shove, and it's like, do we bring him back and risk it making worse, or do we wait a little bit and make sure he's okay? They usually, unless it's the playoffs, they opt for the latter. Let's err on the side of caution. So Michael King is now down. They definitely have some pitching depth issues to worry about, but they did bounce back on Sunday, Woods, and get one more win and take the series over the Braves. And once again, Manny Machado coming through with another home run, 2 for 4, his 5th of the season before he got number 6 yesterday. And man, it came against a tough customer in Spencer Schwellenbach.
My God.
Manny ties it, and then Gavin ties it with the 2-run home run. Jake then hits the go-ahead home run, and Manny with a little opposite field insurance late in the game.
Phenomenal. That's a game I thought there's no way we win this. Listen to the first half, and Jesse and Tony were talking about just how nasty Schwellenbach looked, and actually talked to Crony about it yesterday. And I said, man, when I watched you put that 10-pitch AB together, really, really good AB, ended up striking out. And I said, man, I just felt like you were locked in. He goes, yeah, I was seeing it pretty good. Definitely wanted another shot at him because I saw everything he had. And, it's just, that's baseball, man. Like, I lost this battle, but I can ultimately win the war. And he did. And it was a pretty sweet moment for Crony. Definitely needed that. And of course, Manny just staying at a torrid pace right now. Clutch homers, late inning homers, exactly what you're looking for from him.
Dylan Cease was okay. I mean, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 8 strikeouts. I mean, the slider is definitely sliding and snapping, but wasn't his best start of the last month, but it did enough as the Padres got the win. Now, would they have won without another key mistake by an opponent? The Austin Riley error that put I think it was Arise, put him on eventually ahead of the Gavin Sheets tying 2-run home run. They don't get to Sheets. That inning ends if Austin Riley doesn't commit the error on that play.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of mistakes. I mean, teams make mistakes. The teams that can really make some hay are the teams that can take advantage of them. The Padres have been really good at capitalizing on that. Now, not so good in other areas, right? Runners in scoring position, still a bit of an issue.
No, not a bit. It's still
a major issue.
I mean, they're not 0 for 37 anymore, or 39, whatever they got to, but they're still only hitting like 150 in the last 10 games with runners in scoring position. Had the numbers here a second ago, but their offense is bad. You know what they're hitting? They're hitting in their losses in the last 10 games, 198. You know what they're hitting in their wins? Their 3 wins? 198. It's no different. They're just, getting better pitching and taking advantage of a couple of mistakes by the opponents. Otherwise, the offense has been consistently abysmal for now, an extended stretch. And they need to get out of that, make some hay on this homestand against the Marlins and Pirates, and then get ready for a tough divisional stretch. Giants, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, all those teams are coming up in the next few weeks. You do not want to be in this slump when you're playing divisional opponents, or you will bury yourself in June. Bury yourself. They have a few days to get out of it, but they need to get out of it soon because they're not going to win a bunch of games against the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks if they're scoring 2 or 3 runs. They just won't.
Starts at the top, man. It starts at the top. Nando's got to get it sorted, whatever it is right now that is making him look so lost up there. Hit a couple balls hard in Atlanta, but nothing really to show for it.
Padres are batting .074 with runners in scoring position over the past 10 games. 5 for 68.
I love that.
Ouch. All right, but they did get 3 wins out of their last 4 games, so everything's okay for the moment. We'll talk about tonight's game. We'll have Jesse Agler joining us, all coming up in the next hour of Ben and Woods here on The Fan.
with all of you. Every day above ground is a good day, Benny, despite whether the Padres win or lose, but it certainly is nice to come in here talking about a couple of wins, scratch one out yesterday, certainly, and need to find a way again tonight. I'll be in the house tonight. I'm excited going to the game. I'm sitting in with our beloved friend Patrick in his amazing seats. Got me out of the house on a Tuesday night. That's one way to do it. Sit me in those ones where I can eat and drink all I want.
Going to see Stephen Kolek pitching against Max Meyer.
The dream matchup. That's really what the marquee matchup that you want anytime you go to
Meyer's not bad.
No, he is. He's good pitcher. And Kolek, listen, you're going to have to score some runs. Padres, you got to break out of this little skid offensively. And they got the talent to do it, certainly. Just got to put it together. I'm Woodsy. To my right is Italian Paul, Frank Marchese, filling in for Paul Reindl, who is on his way to Las Vegas for his annual anniversary trip with his wife Megan. Their anniversary is on Friday, but they're going to go do their thing in Vegas.
Paulie wanted to make it very clear that he was very respectful yesterday on Memorial Day and waited until today for Memorial Gras to get started.
To start celebrating.
Really let their hair down and unwind this week.
Yeah, and Paulie definitely deserves the vacation. Nice to have Italian Paul filling in. Are you sure you can't fill in all week, Italian Paul? Because we have Adam the last 2 days.
I mean, you could take it up with him. I'm down.
You would be down?
I'm down.
Yeah.
So you can take it up with him, though.
Like, you don't want to get used to somebody and then you got to switch it all up again. Adam will sit there in this hoodie and he won't talk and he just like sulks over there. And like you're engaging and you have Italian Paul report.
You feel like Adam has bad body language.
Hugely bad body language.
I'm usually not a fan of interpreting someone's body language.
I'd say so. I don't think he likes getting up early.
Not an early rise. He's not a morning person.
Not a morning person.
To be fair, I'm not either.
Yeah, but you're pulling it off really well, Frankie. So
got a smile on your face.
This is called faking it until I make it.
It's the story of my whole career, buddy. 15 years deep of faking it till I make it. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And Benjamin, you're looking svelte. You got shorts on today.
Get comfortable today. It's a nice day. Or at least it's supposed to be. It's nice. It's kind of cloudy right now. But
don't lie to me. You're playing
I got
golf.
up early. I worked out.
You're playing golf
today.
Play golf.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to lie to me. Just tell me.
Yeah. But I wanted to be comfortable.
Where are you playing?
Playing with my dad up at Palma Valley.
Oh, amazing track.
Bit of a drive, but worth it.
So you're off today?
I am taking today off, yes.
Well, look at you.
I was entitled for a day off because I worked yesterday on the holiday, Memorial Day, so they needed me to take a day off this week to compensate for the holiday I worked. So it's going to be today.
Oh, you took it quick.
Yeah, just all right. I'll just take the next day then.
Very next day then.
Very next day I will take off.
We have that thing here where it's been going on since we got here, really. Doesn't matter who the big man in charge is. A lot of times, like on Friday, they'll say, hey, we're going to close the office down early. Everyone get a nice head start on your Memorial Day weekend. And if you can't, if you're on air or something, just get with your manager and pick a day that you can leave early or whatever. It doesn't really work for us. You know what I mean? We have probably 24 of those accrued, but I can't imagine if it would go over very well. If today we were like, we'll just take that early, the one that you let everybody out Friday, we'll just take it on Tuesday. I don't think it'll work very well.
Well, I mean, do we leave at 8:00? Is that what would be half day for us?
Well, if you parcel all of them together, it's like 8 full days off. So we can just take the next 8 days off and then we'll catch us up for all the half
I think
days.
what they have in mind is that after 10:00, we're done for the rest of the day and just do no prep for the tomorrow show. We'll consider that our day off.
I do that every day.
We'll just show up in the morning with nothing to talk about for 4 hours because we did no prep or actual work to get ready for the show. That's the part of the day we can take off.
That's fair. But
not the actual on-air 4 hours.
Correct.
They want us here for that.
Got to be here and serve our beautiful, beautiful audience who's in the chat and everyone's fired up and all that. I wanted to take a moment. You had asked me about it earlier, Benny, and just wanted to let everybody know how it went on Saturday. Had my first men's meeting, men's group that I started called The Work. Where men can come and talk about their mental health and be vulnerable and open. And I got to tell you, I was blown away. I really was blown away. It was a pretty special day and pretty special scene went down at Lost Abbey Sanctuary over in San Alejo Hills. Thank you again to Tommy Arthur, who runs Lost Abbey, for providing us, opening up early providing us the space, beautiful space, to sit and talk as men need to do, and have been shamed out of doing for many, many years. And I didn't know what I was expecting turnout wise. I thought 5, 10 max, and there were like 40 guys there, and which is good. It's also
not everyone's going to be able to, say their entire piece if you have that many people.
No,
but,
my point is, you wish we were at the point where you didn't have to do these. You don't having 40 men show up needing help is a testament to them and their bravery for walking in the door. But it's also kind of shows you where we are as a country, and as a people, where so many men feel the need to ask for help. And it was really special. Got a lot of good feedback about it. I don't know if I would do anything differently. I don't. I want it to be a place where you feel comfortable coming. Hopefully you get a chance to share. We kept it right at an hour. And I think it was great. People came up, shared stories, talking about, the trauma that they'd experienced. And that's really the first kind of topic that day was trauma. This is kind of why we're all here, gentlemen. And we all kind of talked about it and what we can do to be there for each other and to help. And it was pretty solid. And I was very, very happy. And I left there feeling a very grateful to have this platform, to be able to do that. So it was great.
How'd you kind of structure it in terms of organization?
So I just kind of welcomed everybody and, thanked them for the bravery that it took to show up. And that was really kind of the first step, is just getting in. And then I started off, I said, I'll just get us started. It was my idea to do this. So I'll wear it first, and kind of talked about some of the things that have happened to me this year. You guys are aware of them. We talked about them on the air, and kind of where my head is at with all of that. And then I opened it up after that. I kept it about 5 minutes, and then the next guy came up and he shared, and then the next guy came up, and I think everybody found it gets a little bit easier the more you do it. But everyone came right up to the front and stood in front of the crowd and told their stories. And
brave.
Extremely brave, extremely moving, extremely sad, to think about it. Got a really nice DM I'll share. Said, "Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for hosting the men's group meeting on Saturday. I was raised in the you're a blank, F your feelings era, and I've always had trouble expressing myself properly. The meeting has motivated me to look for a regular group and possibly some therapy. It was pretty cool to see people share openly, and a lot of it was relatable. Thanks again." And I said, "My pleasure." The coolest moment was a guy walked in, and he walked up to me after. He goes, "Hey man, I don't even know who you are. I don't listen to your show. I saw this on Twitter and I need help." And so I showed up, and I went, "Oh my God, that's great." I mean, the power of spreading the word. So it was really cool. It was really cool. Had some familiar faces, had some people I'd never met before. And I was very pleased. And, it's inspired me to, get started on the next one. So I loved the format. I loved the setup. I don't think it dragged on too long. I think an hour was perfect. And I was just really proud of all the guys that came in there, and some really moving stories, and some stories that you hear and you go, how are you here? How are you here right now with what has happened to you over the last 2-3 years? I won't share, any stories in particular. It's we want to keep it anonymous, if you will, but I'm just very proud of the guys that came in. It was really special.
I also think that the name is brilliant.
Thank you.
I mean, the work, you get it, Frank, is to be mentally healthy. You got to do the work. And this is the work that is being put in by being open and talk about your feelings and the hard stuff. And so I'm really impressed with this guy, Woods, for setting this up and sharing and being vulnerable with everybody.
No, absolutely. And you should be. It's a fantastic thing. And that's something that, as you said, a lot of men don't have that outlet in order to be able to talk about that stuff. I mean, I went through my stuff, which brought me back here. And I had some people to talk to, but I wish I was in a situation that was a little bit more relatable. And yeah, it's really awesome.
It was cool
that you started that this week.
It was cool. And I have a lot on my plate, I always do, but I thought, man, I will definitely be able to carve out an hour or two once a month, and who knows, man, maybe it'll grow to once a week, maybe it'll grow to twice a month. I don't know, but for now I'm going to keep it where it is. I've got the online community. I've tweeted out the link at the Stephen Woods this morning to the Discord where you can go join. People are sharing stuff in there. It's cool. It's cool. I'm very fortunate to be here, but I'm very fortunate again for this platform to be able to do it. And to get the word out, and power of local radio, man. I've always said there's nothing stronger than the power of local radio. And just the guys that came, I'm so impressed by you guys. Incredible.
Well done, everybody. All right, we do have a busy show that we still have to get to the rest of the way.
We've got guests.
We've got Jesse Agler. We've got Dennis Lynn. We got an Italian Paul report coming up, and we have Take on Woods in our next segment. Chance to qualify for our trip to Las Vegas. Maybe you'll see Paulie there. He loves going to Vegas. He's heading there right now.
You may run into him.
You can win your spot, or at least qualify for our grand prize drawing by taking on Woods in our musical trivia challenge. That's coming up next. You want to call in during the break, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll play Take on Woods and then welcome Jesse Agler to the program coming up next on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, one more reminder from me, because this is such a great day to get started with Prize Picks. If you're looking for something to add to your excitement while you watch your sports, you're going to be doing it, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever's going on, you can set your own lineups with Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy, accessible. The more you play, the more you can win. Meaning, you go for a 6-player lineup and you go with stats like home runs, something a little riskier, you can win a lot. Or you can go with a flex play. Hey, set a 4-person lineup and you just win 3 of them. You can still win money that way. It really is the way you want to play it. Like they say, run your game with Prize Picks. And when you sign up now, make sure you use our code KWFN. You're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup by using the code KWFN at sign up. It's really easy. You can put in and take out money with Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard. It's very quick. I've taken money out. I get it in my account in about 15 minutes. No problem whatsoever. Don't wait. Sign up today. Let's play a little Prize Picks together. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Gotten there without some excellent work from their bullpen, including 2 outs in his major league debut from David Morgan, who had a nasty riding fastball, like elite level kind of stuff that he was showing in his very first appearance when he came in relief of Wandy Peralta. Came in, bases empty, 1 out, got the next 2 outs to finish the inning. And what he said after the game, and this was from Kevin Acey's newsletter this morning, and Woods both I love this quote.
Yeah, independent of each other.
Yeah,
we both went, whoa.
Oh, that was really cool. He said, that was awesome. Dream come true. It was hard the last time I was here. Remember, he got to the big leagues, but never got in a game. Was up with the team for about a week and then got sent back down.
Oh.
The dream being that close to me and not getting it to happen. But today, getting to pitch in a closer game, late in the game, leverage situation, that's what I'm used to. I've been doing that in the minor league. So I think that actually kind of took the nerves off. And here's what we loved. Every time I pitched in the minor leagues, there was always a little bit of nerves because I'm trying to make it to the big leagues. And today, I wasn't trying to be anywhere else. So there was no extra nerves, no pressure on me. It was like, do what I do. And just, I'm here for a reason. Wow.
That's about as glass half full as you can get. I would have gone the complete other way. If I come up here and soil myself, I'm back to El Paso. He may be back to El Paso anyway, just based on the fact that, you know, they have to do some manipulation of the pitching staff, Ben. But I sure like what I saw, and I really liked what I heard from David Morgan last night.
I saw him in the clubhouse. I think it was him.
I thought it was him too. I didn't really
got tattoos like down his leg, and
I didn't know.
Like, okay,
I was like, was that a coach? I don't know this guy.
So I wasn't sure. And then he walked over to the locker that said Morgan. So I figured, okay, that must be David Morgan. But congratulations on the big league debut in the bullpen. Big moment last night. All right, we'll talk more baseball with Jesse Agler coming up in a couple of minutes. Right now, though, let's get to today's game. It is time to take on Woods. Oh, we got Patrick as our contestant today for Take on Woods. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. All right. Take on Woods is brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. And Patrick, what we got for you is a chance to qualify for our grand prize, a trip to see Bruno Mars in Las Vegas, 2 tickets to a show at Dolby Live at the Park MGM on September 3rd, a 2-night stay at the Park MGM, and a $100 gift card. Tickets for the show on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. All right, you get to pick our category. Here are your choices today. Woods has left the studio. Luck O' the Irish, still sitting there. 5 song titles are artist, all with an O apostrophe in the name. When Is Now, it's all 2-second songs with the song title beginning with the word when. And our new category, Right or Wrong. 5 song titles that either include the word right or the word wrong. Any of those sound good to you? Luck of the Irish, When Is Now, or Right or Wrong, Patrick?
Let's try right and wrong.
Right or wrong. All right. So as I said, every song title will either include the word right or the word wrong. These can be trickier for Woods because he doesn't get the category, and it kind of mixes him up a little bit. So not a bad choice for you. You'll have 60 seconds. Answer as many of the 5 as you can. If you don't know an answer, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question is the 2-second song. Frankie is queuing it up now. You need to give me both the song title and the artist to score the point. And again, remember, right or wrong, all of those answers will include one of those 2 words. Patrick, are you ready to play?
Good.
Frankie, you good to go? All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Patrick, your time begins when Frank plays our music. The category, right or wrong. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Sublime Right Way.
Correct. Billy
Wrong
Joel
way.
sings, you got it. Billy Joel sings I May Be Crazy, right after the title line of which opening track from his 1980 album, Glass.
Maybe right.
Correct. The Spin Doctors had a pair of major hits in 1990, 2 Princes, and which other song about being very happy to be finished with a demanding relationship? Which 1986 hit by the Pretenders includes the lines, If I'm looking kind of dazzled, I see neon lights whenever you walk by? Nelly Furtado hit number 1 on the charts in early 2007 with which song she says was inspired by the Eurythmics, Here Comes the Rain Again? All right, let's go back to the Spin Doctors. Had a pair of major hits in 1990. 2 Princes, and which other song about being very happy to be finished with a demanding relationship? Well, we got the first 2, which isn't bad. You got Wrong Way by Sublime and You May Be Right by Billy Joel. That was Little Miss Can't Be Wrong by the Spin Doctors, Don't Get Me Wrong by the Pretenders, and Say It Right by Nelly Furtado. I think Woods could have trouble with a couple of those. Hang on the line, Patrick. See if your score holds up.
I see why Eli White got confused. Ben was waving me in, and Italian Paul was giving me the stop sign. So
go back.
I have no idea what that
go
was.
third. Stop at third.
I had initially started waving you in, and he was still reading the answers. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, wait.
This is what happens.
Patrick, his score is locked in.
Okay.
No category for Woods. Let's put 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Frank plays the music. Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
Let's take on Patrick.
That is Sublime Wrong Way.
Correct. Billy Joel sings I May Be Crazy right after the title line of which opening track from his 1980 album Glass Houses?
I May Be Right.
You may be right. The Spin Doctors had a pair of major hits in 1990. 2 Princes, and which other song about being very happy to be
Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Correct, which 1986 by the Pretenders includes the line, If I'm looking kind of dazzled, I see neon lights whenever you walk by.
Pass.
Nelly Furtado hit number 1 on the charts in early 2007 with which song she says was inspired by the Eurythmics' Here Comes the Rain Again.
Nelly Furtado knowledge is a little
the
suspect.
Song, but maybe not the title.
The wrong taint.
Incorrect. Which 1986 hit by the Pretenders includes the lines, "If I'm looking kind of dazzled, I see neon lights whenever you walk by." Don't
get me wrong. Yes.
You know what? Because he said I may be right, and it was you may be right. I'm going to say Patrick gets the tie with a 2-2. So Patrick, congratulations. You're qualified with a 2-2 tie for the grand prize. Yeah, Say It Right is Nelly Furtado.
Say It Right. I don't know that I know.
And you've heard the song. You just don't know the title. And then Don't Get Me Wrong. So you got the rest of them. But you said I may be right. You may be right. I may be crazy. Yeah. Just maybe a lunatic you're looking for. All right, Patrick, hang on line. Frank will get your information. We will take a timeout, and I want to make sure we have plenty of time for Jesse Agler, who is back on TV again for this series, filling in for Don Orsillo, but has plenty of stories, I'm sure, from the Padres road trip, winning 3 out of 4 in their last 4 games. We will talk with the voice of the San Diego Padres, Jesse Agler, when we return with more Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3. The Fan. First, though, Frankie, do you have the disclaimer for us? Well, we can play it later. That's fine. Woods and I are going to tell you about 7 Mile Casino. It's our place to play cards. You got it? You good? All right.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GG 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Tranquilo. You're rushing.
I wasn't sure if he was ready. I didn't want him to sit there or not, but
okay.
Hey, he's doing a good job filling in for Paulie this morning. 7 Mile Casino is our place to play cards. It's San Diego's best, closest, most upscale card room, and it is so easy to get to right down the 5 freeway in Chula Vista.
Yes, sir. You got the home team is home right now. Great place to go pregame, postgame, to watch the game, play some cards while you're there. Little California-style blackjack. Never does you wrong. Always a fun time. They got Texas Hold'em. They got Pai Gow Poker as well, and Baccarat for the fancy guy like Benjamin. Really, really fun place. Clean, great environment, smoke-free as well, but the proximity just makes it.
Yeah, 24/7 players menu, in fact, is one of the few places you can get a great meal any time of the day. If you are one of those players and they love catering to their high-limit players, 35% off at the table if you order a meal from Sammy's at 7 Mile. Absolutely fantastic. Check it out today. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
It doesn't sound familiar, but Ben played it. I go, oh, it's pretty good.
I know.
Kind of like it.
It's usually you who expand my musical
Yeah.
horizons, but nice to return the favor every once in a while. Woods and I went down to pregame yesterday, Clubhouse, and spent a little time up in the broadcast booths where we got
Indeed.
to say hello to Jesse Agler and one Mudcat Grant in the television booth, which is much bigger than the radio booth.
It is. It is.
I understand why. There's more cameras and equipment that's necessary, but I always wonder if there's any jealousy involved from the radio side to the TV side. We can ask Jesse all about it.
Isn't there always?
He's standing by. He will join us right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by the Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware at 10th and University. Not too bad of a ride on our freeways. Crash has cleared on northbound 5 before the 163, and an accident has cleared north 805 near Imperial. Traffic brought to you by the Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware. Purchase a grill this week, and your first cookout is free with 12 burgers and 12 franks, courtesy of Omaha Steaks. That's the Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware at 10th and University. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And we welcome Jesse Agler onto the program for his weekly Tuesday visit. Yeah, so much room to stretch out in that TV booth, Jesse.
Yeah, man.
Too much room. Too much room. You know what's good about this smaller booth? Less space for random people to come and hang out. I'm not talking about you guys.
Fair.
I'm just saying generally.
Just generally.
The bigger the booth, the more people feel like they can just come in and hang out. So I actually love our booth at Petco. It's, I think, the best radio booth in all of Major League Baseball. Tony and I are very at home there. The only complaint we have, and I don't even know if it's a complaint, it's just, the only thing we would change, like if we got to go back in time, to when they were building the place before 2004, is that about 75% of the radio booth is Dave's area. The tower where he lords over us. So we'd like to push that back a couple of feet, maybe, so we could have a little bit more of our own space. But generally, it's as good as it gets. We love it.
He really does. He has that giant pulpit. Like he's way above you guys, like a gargoyle. perched above you looking
No offense,
down.
Dave.
No offense, Dave. You're a wonderful, wonderful guy, and you do a great job. But
He has way too much space.
He does. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need all that space. I agree with you fully. Now, Jesse makes the joke. More room for people to come in and say hello. I still come in and say hello in the radio booth, which is like being in a broom closet. So I'm going to come in anywhere you are. I'm always going to come up and say hello, whether you like it or not.
You're always welcome.
Thank you.
You're always welcome.
I love our
like 2 or 3
pregame.
minutes.
I love our pregame chat.
And I heard you mention during the broadcast, but there was no video. A foul ball went into the radio booth while you weren't in it yesterday. I didn't hear. I wanted a story. Like, did Scan catch it? Did Tony catch it? Did it bang between them? What happened?
I couldn't tell. It's kind of blocked by the wall. I saw it go in there, and I didn't see either one of them after the game. So I'll follow up today and get.
Frankie says it went between them, right between the two of them. No one caught it.
There you
So
go.
how many times do you guys per year get a foul ball in the booth?
Oh, less than one. I think.
Really?
Yeah. At Petco, that's only I think the second or third ever. Probably the third ever, and the second ever I think was last year. And prior to that, I don't think it had happened since like the first or second year of the ballpark. So that's kind of a thing. On the road, I think it's happened twice in my time. Randomly, we got one against the White Sox a couple of years ago in Chicago. Coincidentally, Dylan Cease was pitching for the White Sox, and we got a foul ball. Booty Sullivan fouled it back into the booth, almost took my head off. And then earlier this year, where were we? Somewhere, and Tony almost got smoked by Maldonado.
Oh.
I mean, it came in. It was Yankee Stadium, and it knocked him off the air. It knocked him off the air for about 30 seconds because the ball came in and hit the little box that his microphone plugs into. It kicked off the box, went all the way out the door of the back of the booth and into the hallway. So that one was a little dicey. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, talking to Jesse Agler here on Ben and Woods this morning. We get a lot of, you see every game. What are you seeing from Fernando Tatis Jr. right now, Jesse? I watched, as much as anybody, just seems to be searching a little bit right now. Not a lot of things breaking his way. You mentioned the couple of hard hit balls in Atlanta, hoping to get him going. Just hasn't seemed to be himself lately.
I think it's just one of those things that happens over the course of a long season. And, Fernando has spoiled us a lot over the years.
He has.
Right? I mean,
he has.
You almost, because he's so good and because he's so dynamic, you almost forget that, of course, he slumps because everybody slumps. And, in terms of how it's going right now, obviously tough for him. And Tony likes to say, this game isn't fun when it's not going well. And it's true. And so I think that's probably reflected in what you're seeing out there. Like, it's not fun to be in the funk. This game is a lot of fun when it's going really well. The beach ball thing and, everything is dropping in and you're hitting everything hard. It's so much fun when that's happening. When you've hit in 12 in a row and 18 out of your last 19 games, it is a ton of fun. When it's opposite of that, it's fun to go out there, have those starts. But it's something that literally every guy, even the Hall of Fame, even the superstars, are going to deal with this year.
No.
And so right now,
hang on, Jesse, you're breaking up. Let's have Frank try you back one time. And I will while we get him back on the air. It's funny because the media, the fans, we're always the first ones to point out when Fernando hangs his head after a strikeout or kicks the dirt or whatever it is, right? And I think it's important to play the other side of the card. Manny Machado hits that home run last night. First guy out of the dugout, Fernando Tatis Jr. The very first guy at the top of the step, ready to go, was Fernando Tatis Jr. to congratulate his teammate on a massive home run. So I think, that's only fair to mention that as well.
I always feel like there's no winning the body language situation when you're struggling.
Yeah.
You don't.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah,
you act like you don't
want
care.
him looking like he doesn't care because he's celebrating. All you can do is be bummed that you struck out or you made an out.
Yeah.
Be happy for your teammates and especially happy when you win, which he is. So I tend not to, I caution against reading body language. We got Jesse Agler back on the line. Jesse, you said something in extra innings that I thought was very Jesse-like, but it really is what I love about baseball. You said a lot of stuff is happening in this game.
So much stuff.
Talk about the stuff from last night's 4-3 win, because there was interesting stuff going on.
I mean, this is going to be off the top of my head real quick because I don't have my stuff in front of me right now. But I mean, you have multiple major league debuts. including the guy, Victor Mesa Jr. for the Marlins. And because there was so much stuff going on, I didn't even get to drop my favorite nugget of the night, which was that Victor Mesa Jr. has a brother who used to be his minor league teammate with the Marlins. His name is Victor. So the guy we saw is Victor Mesa Jr. His brother is Victor Mesa. But I mean, that was one thing. Obviously, David Morgan comes in, gets to make his major league debut, gets to pitch against a guy who went to the same, junior college he did.
Yep.
Up in Orange County, Wagaman. So you have the multiple major league debuts. You've got Graham Pauley coming in as technically a center fielder, playing outfield, quote unquote, for the first time in his career, but actually being an infielder because Clayton McCullough tried to do the chorus line thing out there to cut down the ground ball. You had all kinds of like big managerial decisions about pinch hitting and intentional walks. The Marlins used their entire bench. That might be the first time all year we have seen any team, Padres or their opponents, use all of their available bench players in the game. We just don't see it very often in the DH days. We used to, of course, all the time when you didn't have the designated hitter in the National League. You have Manny hitting the dramatic late home run, one of those you could almost feel it coming. There's a lot going on. I'm sure Randy Vasquez doesn't give up a hit after the second inning after a really rocky start. It was a really fun, entertaining game. I enjoyed that one about as much as any this year.
I was with you 100%, especially after they won. But the 5-man infield makes me laugh. I watched the Dodgers do it against Frank's Mets the other night, and it worked. Oh my God, it worked. A ground ball to Kike Hernandez had to throw. There's a great shot. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Somebody got a picture like down the line with all these guys standing in the way of Kike having to turn it and go to second base for the double play. It's unbelievable. And if I was a hitter and they brought in 5 infielders, I think I would soil myself. I really do. Where I'm heading.
Great pull, Jesse, on the Vin Scully reference. When the Dodgers had 4 infielders all on the same side of the infield. Yep. Out there like a chorus line.
Yeah, chorus line. You pulled it
true
yesterday.
Vin Scully fashion. Just a perfect description of it. I ended up not working because they threw a wild pitch and the Padres won the game.
It's the funny thing about baseball. You can plan for every potentiality. You can, try and prepare yourself for anything. And then one ball in the dirt kicks away and you've got a really fast guy on third base and that's it. And I mean, that's part of the beauty of this game. There's no doubt.
Talking to Jesse Agler, voice of the Padres, and we made some big deal about the Padres' struggles with runners in scoring position, but I do think of note the Padres are doing right now what good teams need to do, and that is minimize the damage when you're in a slump. They found a way to win 3 games without really getting hot, other than Manny and Gavin Sheets. They pulled out some wins. As the schedule starts to turn after this week, they're going to need to start hitting, Jesse. Wouldn't you agree? When they play the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks and the Giants, they're not going to be able to win games like they did last night against a Marlins team with an error, a wild pitch. They're going to have to start hitting again pretty soon.
Yeah, I would think that's a fair way to look at it. I also have a theory, and I probably shouldn't run this out there publicly because, I mean, it's the most unscientific thing in the world. But there's something in my brain, just having watched as much baseball as I have in my life, that thinks this horrific run of like American League teams we saw. Yes. Obviously, I know the Braves was the last series, and now we're getting a little break from the AL thing. But just that run of like what was it, 9 of the first 16 series, and then a bunch the last couple of weeks. I don't know. There's something there for me, very unscientific again, where it's not the same.
Yep.
And I think when we start to see finally the Dodgers and the Giants and the Diamondbacks, I do feel like things are going to feel a little bit more normal. It's going to feel more familiar, and guys are going to click back into place. Now, I don't know if that'll happen. I hope it does, obviously. But again, somewhere in the back of my mind, and I like to be scientific. I like to run reasonable things out there, and I get that this is very unreasonable. But like, I do think there's something about the way they've been playing and the teams they've been playing. It's felt weird. It's felt, I don't know. It's just, it's different when you're playing the Giants. It's different when you're playing the Dodgers. It's different when you're playing the Diamondbacks. And so, we'll see, because you're right. You'd love to have a nice homestand here against the Marlins and the Pirates. You're getting Sandy on Wednesday, but he's not been himself. I think Skeens is not scheduled again to throw in this series. I believe he's supposed to go tomorrow for them. So, like, yeah, you want to, try and get that here. Although the Marlins are scrappy, man. I tell you what.
They are, man.
And then, things get a little bit more serious again with that run of schedule. And you're right. I mean, it would certainly be a best case scenario if everything kind of syncs up.
You mentioned the National League versus American League stat. Here's the updated numbers. Padres are 10-17 against American League opponents, 20-5 against National League opponents. And here's the one, if you nugget you want to use. There's only 2 American League teams who have lost fewer games against National League teams. The Blue Jays are 8-4 and the Red Sox are 6-4 against National League teams. Every other American League team has lost 5 or more games against National League teams. More than the Padres have.
It's weird. It's just weird. I don't know. Like, again, very unscientific, and I almost feel a little silly running it out there. But it's just, I don't know. And I don't want to say they're not getting up for it, because I don't think that's accurate. And I don't think that's fair to them. But it's just with all of them kind of bunched in the way they have been. I don't know, the lack of familiarity, all that kind of thing. Like, again, there's something in my brain that says this is part of what's been going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's player movement. So some of those American League pitchers they have seen, but probably fewer of them. They're less familiar with them, less at bats. And I'm sure some teams do better the more looks they get against guys. It does make a difference at times. I mean, there's something there, I think, Jesse, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess, when the page turns here.
Well, you like to quantify things, and I think we all do. And baseball is all about quantifying things. But there's certain things in baseball you can't quantify. And I think Randy Vasquez is a really good example of that. You can go dig into his underlying numbers and say, well, this is a balloon, it's going to pop, and the tea kettle is going to boil over at some point. It very well may. But you cannot quantify the guy's want to, his will, any of that stuff to go out and make sure he stays in the game, and more importantly, keep the San Diego Padres in a baseball game, which is exactly what he did last night.
The other part of it is that, the thing you can't quantify is the guy is going to, learn new things every time he goes out there, and he's going to apply those lessons. And, look at Ryan Weathers last night. We've seen Ryan Weathers pitch a bunch. We ain't never seen him look like that before. And it's a really, really good reminder that just because somebody is something one day or 1 year doesn't mean that they're going to be that thing forever, particularly young guys. And Randy Vasquez is still a young guy, and you have seen absolute progress this year from Randy Vasquez.
No question.
And as I like to say, it's not always going to be a straight line. There's a reason we play chutes and ladders as a kid. There will be times when he falls backwards and all that thing, but there is no doubt, if you're watching his starts, there is very significant progress being made. And as far as I'm concerned, like, that's all you can ask for. When you're talking about a Randy Vasquez, when you're talking about a Stephen Kolek, who's going tonight, I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see guys who get better. Same, obviously, on the position player side. And, that's not something you can quantify necessarily numerically, because, those lessons are kind of being applied on the fly. But, I mean, I couldn't be more impressed by what I saw out of Randy Vasquez yesterday. I've been saying to you guys since spring training, I'm a Randy Vasquez believer. And it was a rough start yesterday. It was an kind of start yesterday. And in my head, in the second inning, I'm thinking to myself, all right, how are you going to piece this together bullpen-wise tonight if he can't get out of the third? And next thing you know, you look up, he's pitching in the seventh inning, and he hadn't a lot of hits since the second. Just an awesome performance by that guy yesterday. Credit to him and the bullpen for giving them the opportunity to do what they did, come back and win that game.
Exact same thing with, Luis Camposano. The numbers, again, Schilt brought it up with us last year. Like, yeah, did you see our record with Campy in the lineup? I'm like, it was like 43-19 or something. He's 5-0 right now this year. So I know he's not hitting. I'm running him out there again tonight because, well, we don't lose ball games, and it makes no sense whatsoever. It's not like he's contributing greatly to the success of the team. But I don't know, man. It's baseball's a weird sport as we continue to realize more and more each time.
And Jesse, I love the idea, and I never thought of this, of chutes and ladders as a metaphor for life.
Yes.
The setbacks, the unexpected triumphs. You remember how excited
the fall down.
Remember how excited when you hit that early big giant ladder that took you to the top, and the utter devastation when you were near the end and you hit the long slide that took you back to the beginning? That's life. Yeah. That's baseball.
That's life.
That's how
baseball.
That's how it works.
I run it out there all the time. It's true. Like, that's what you're learning as a kid. You don't realize you're learning it when you're playing that game, but that's it. And that's how this thing works. And every time you take a step forward, it's very easy to think, oh, cool, I'm always going to continue in that direction. It's just not how it works. It's not how it works, and certainly not in baseball.
Jesse, appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much. Have a good broadcast. Television again today with Mud this evening, 6:40 start.
You guys have a great rest of your day.
We will.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jesse.
Jesse Agler. He'll be back incorporating in a couple of weeks when he's off of his television schedule, but I appreciate him joining us still on Tuesdays as he always does. And our Monday guest, Dennis Lynn from The Athletic, since we missed him yesterday, he's going to join us in our 9:30 segment coming up in our next hour, which means we're going to advance the Italian Paul reports. Frankie's going to give us some headlines when we come back in our 9 o'clock segment, so don't go anywhere. Ben and Woods continuing here on a Tuesday morning following the holiday weekend. Good to be back. Good to have all the tier ones in the audience on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back. at 6:40. Sammy Levitt will have your Eco Water SoCal pregame show for you at 5:40. And, of course, Eco Water SoCal brings you the Manager's Report with Mike Schilt this Friday at 9 a.m. He is set to go. He told us yesterday, you got me on Friday. I said, we absolutely do, Skip. You can try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month by going to Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. And the Padres did mention last night, again, I will say it one more time. I don't know if it's true this morning, but as of last night, they still had some tickets available for tonight's giveaway game at the ballpark. It's been pretty rare. Tough to get seats at Petco Park this season, but Padres.com/tickets. If you want to go tonight, first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a military hoodie giveaway brought to you by Soapy Joe's. Limited tickets, again, available at Padres.com/tickets if you're looking for a night at the old ball yard on a Tuesday.
I will be there. I can't wait.
Could not wait for this. So we're going to wait no longer. Let Frankie take things over with his edition of the Italian Paul Randall Report. And get things started here with our today's edition of the Randall Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rindle Report with Paul Rindle.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rindle Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All righty.
All right. Take
This
it
is,
away.
gonna, this is going to be fun because I did not prepare for this.
Uh-oh.
All right, so we're fine.
That's what you want to hear.
We're good though.
Definitely want to.
Well, I knew
Excited.
basically what you guys wanted to hear, and every time I tend to be on this show when there's a big racing event going on, and there was plenty of those this weekend.
It's uncanny.
Frankie is our racing guy here on 97.3 The Fan. There's no doubt he is by far the most knowledgeable when it comes to motorsports of any employee at this station.
But it's uncanny that he's absolutely right. Every time he's in, it's because there's always some big race.
And that's exactly what we had this week.
3 of them, really, right?
Yes, the Sunday, Memorial Day Sunday, is the biggest weekend in racing. The Monaco Grand Prix for Formula One in the morning, the Indianapolis 500 for IndyCar in the afternoon, and then you have NASCAR's Coca-Cola 600 at night, and that's exactly what we saw. A great race in Monaco. Saw Lando Norris win that race. His first win at in the Principality in his career. Then you saw Alex Palou become the first Spaniard to ever win the Indianapolis 500 this on Sunday afternoon. And then a great, fantastic NASCAR race, the Coke 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ross Chastain, unfortunately, passing my guy, William Byron, with 5 laps to go. Byron led 283 of the 400 laps and did not win the race, finished second.
So,
Chastain took the win.
Couple questions.
Yes.
Indy 500 has lost a bit of its luster in recent years, correct?
A little bit, not much. Fox did it no favors this year because Fox's sports broadcasting is just taking a nosedive. But yeah.
What's your thoughts on the traditional Indy 500 celebration of milk?
It's repugnant.
That's what I thought you'd
Absolutely
you'd say.
repugnant. After I win a race, give me Pepsi. Anything other than a big glass of cold
Is there
milk.
some sort of reasoning and history behind it?
Yeah, what is it?
It started because one of the drivers, I forget who it was, that was his request after he won.
Yeah.
Was a glass of milk, and then it just became a thing. So now every year they showed it on Twitter this year. Drivers have a request. There's a request form that every driver fills out. What type of milk you want? Do you want it warm or cold after the race? And
Who would want a big vat
Whole
of
milk,
warm-
2%, 1%, skim.
exactly.
You get to choose.
Can I get chocolate?
I don't
I would
know,
do chocolate.
honestly.
It's stickier if you
I don't
pour it
care.
on your. So, and then Fox tries to do this. I don't know if you're watching any of the Sunday
so
baseball
bad.
games.
Yes.
So they planted like fans in the
Saturday
stands
games.
Saturday games to advertise their coverage of the Indy 500. So like the Dodgers Mets game, They had a fan drinking milk and pouring it all
That's
over his
why
head.
they were doing that.
Yes.
Okay.
They had him in Boston too. It
Yeah,
wasn't necessarily a corporate plan.
Was it not?
It was, oh, you're going to the game? Do you want to wear this shirt and do this for us and get paid?
That sounds like a corporate plan.
That's pretty much a
well, no,
corporate plan.
It's not like they sent the guy to the game.
Right,
it was
right,
already
right.
someone
They grabbed
going to
somebody.
the game and said, hey, do you want to do
this?
this?
We'll find you with the cameras. When something big happens, pour the milk all over your head.
Can I get breast milk?
It's on the form.
Bruh.
Heavy cream,
camel milk,
kangaroo milk.
No,
goat
I think
milk?
I think it was whole 2% and skim. I think were the three.
No chocolate.
Or
I have
maybe
nipples, Greg.
maybe
Yeah.
buttermilk. Might
Strawberry
have been the third
quick.
One. Buttermilk might have been the third one. I think,
Buttermilk.
actually.
Who on the planet is drinking a big glass of buttermilk?
Like you sat in a hot car for hours.
I mean, that's a tradition.
I would
man.
I
It's
would
just the
pick
way it
apple
is.
juice, grape juice, not orange juice, water, Pepsi,
Water.
Coke, anything but
Here's the celebratory
water.
Delicious. The eco water celebration.
That's crazy. Dub J says, and I can't believe it too, man. 300,000 people.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It becomes. I think it's like 1 in every 1,000 people in the United States is at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for that race.
It would be a good bit amongst your boys to be like, all right, bro, if you win, you have to get warm buttermilk. You have to. And you're like, no, all right, fine. I'll do it. I'll do it for the fellas. I'll do it for the group chat. And you win it. You're like, oh no. And then you just I would retch all over the stage. Hot, warm buttermilk.
I'm convinced half of the guys don't even drink it. They just put it up to their lips
And they just
for
let
a
it
bit
flow.
and then just dump it because that's what it ends
Who
up
tried to do
happening
the
most.
double? Didn't work out this year.
Kyle Larson tried to do the double. He ended up crashing about halfway through Indy and then spun about a quarter of the way through the Coke 600 and then got wrecked maybe 50 laps later. So
Only
he
Tony
had himself
Stewart's
a bad
ever
day.
pulled it off where he's finished both of them on the same day, I believe.
He did both races.
On the same day. Yeah, you got a helicopter to the airport, jet, helicopter to the race in Charlotte, and
Jumps
then hop
in.
right in the car and go.
1,100 miles, 2 completely different types
Yeah.
of cars, disciplines
That's cool.
of racing.
That's
in
really
one
cool.
day.
It's like
That was-
Deion Sanders playing a football game in a baseball game.
That was 2001.
Yeah.
Speaking of football, a lot of people are excited about the new college football game that's coming out, the new college football video game. They found their cover athletes apparently today. Alabama's Ryan Williams and Ohio State's Jeremiah Smith will be the cover athletes for EA Sports College Football 26. They've also announced that real life coaches have been licensed and they will be in the game this year. It is the second edition for EA Sports College Football. Me and my friends went crazy for it last year because it had been
so long,
11, 12 years since the game had come out. But it's nice to see, even though it's EA Sports, it's nice to see progression in stuff like this.
No doubt. No doubt.
And now every player gets paid though for
Yeah.
using their likeness
Yes.
in the game now, unless I think like Arch Manning declined for some
Correct.
reason.
He
But
makes like
Yeah,
40
there are
million
some-
a year anyway.
There are some guys that opt out, and no, Arch was in the game.
oh, he
this
was
past
that
year.
I thought he opted out.
No, there are some guys that have opted out, but yeah, no, most of them are in the game.
Does it have USC running from Notre Dame in the game like they're doing in real life?
Probably. I mean, you probably make it seem that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. So, okay, talk amongst yourselves as I.
No, we're good.
as I work this
I'll give you a
last-
second because I wanted to bring this story up when Jesse was joining us, and I didn't have time at the end of the hour. So he talked about Victor Mesa, his brother, Victor, and
Great
Victor,
name.
who's on the Marlins. And it reminded me of one of my favorite stories when I used to cover the Chargers. Nicest guy, Malcolm Floyd, was one of their wide receivers. His name was spelled oddly, though, as Malcom, not the usual with the Malcolm.
Malcolm.
So his parents, when he was before he was born, when his mom was pregnant with him, he had an older brother, and his older brother was named Malcolm in the normal sense, Malcolm. And the parents, in order to kind of get the older brother kind of into it, said, "We're going to let you name your younger brother whatever you want," and he wanted him to name Malcolm as well.
Aw.
So they just changed the spelling.
No
So
kidding.
Malcolm Floyd's older brother is also named Malcolm, just spelled differently because he spelled it. His brother said, I want him also named Malcolm.
Malcolm
So
and
they did.
Malcolm.
Malcolm and Malcolm.
Malcolm and
And Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Yeah.
Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm. I don't know the Victor, and Victor story, but that's an interesting one.
Victor is awesome. What's the last name?
Mesa.
Victor
Mesa.
Victor Mesa. That's fantastic.
All right. So this one I saw over the weekend. Tyrese Halliburton's dad, John, was allowed to attend Game 4 between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. Fortunately, he saw. Was it a?
The Knicks game
will be
3. He will be allowed to
will
get
be allowed.
tonight.
Okay,
Yes, he's back
he will be
tonight.
allowed. He will be allowed to face tonight. I thought it was the 29th for whatever reason. Halliburton missed 8 games since the decision was made by the Pacers front office following a contest, an on-court confrontation with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes. Yeah, we had this in
on
Don't
April
Do This
29th.
last month when he went on the floor after the game and taunted Giannis after the Bucks lost at the end of the series, and he's standing there on the court.
Yeah, he's like Ryan Weathers' mom on Twitter. It's
Dad
exactly
of
the
Tyrese
same
Halliburton,
thing.
and they said, we can't have you coming to any more games if you're going to do that. Now they've apparently lifted the ban.
Yes.
I would have him sitting up, though not near the court.
No, you want him down so you can watch him. Keep your eyes on him to make sure. I'll give him one more
too
chance.
close to the players.
He's not going to mess this up.
He can't do anything bad if he's up in a suite or something.
But he can't mess this up now.
I wouldn't think so.
You also got to think it's heightened emotions as well. It's playoffs. It's the Eastern Conference Finals. They just lost to my Knickerbockers, and now when Jalen Brunson drops 50 tonight, he might have something to say to somebody.
I know the probably the powers that be in the NBA would love to see the Knicks, because an Oklahoma City, potentially Indiana finals is not exactly big markets.
That's why you play the games.
So
make David Silver's hair fall right out.
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver. David Silver
Stern.
was on. David Silver was on 90210.
Played the keyboard.
Yeah, things have gone bad for him. David Faustine. Is that his name? No, that's Bud from Married with Children. Brian
Austin Green.
Yeah, what's his name? Adam Silver.
He's the commissioner of
Make his hair fall right out.
NBA. He doesn't have any
Already
hair.
bald. Adam Silver Klug.
Now, I think the point was made that it's not going to end the world of basketball fans if Indiana and Oklahoma City make the finals. TV
I'll be
executives
sick.
aren't happy,
I don't
but
care.
I mean, it doesn't really. Basketball will survive 2 small market teams making it to the finals.
What happens if the Knicks win?
What's that series at? 2-1 Pacers?
2-1
It's
Pacers.
2-1 Pacers. What happens if the Knicks win? Then Knicks fans will actually have something to gloat about instead of, a 1973 World Championship.
Been a long time.
Yeah, 70. I think it was 69 and 72, 73.
I mean, they're hoping at least to get him in the finals with all the celebrities, Spike Lee and Ben Stiller, and
Bro, what's with Bob Dylan? Timothy Chalamet. He's like the new Jack Nicholson. Every time they show, they're like, look, there's Timothy Chalamet, like losing his mind on the side. Oh,
I don't know, man. So while we're having this existential crisis, I will bow out and I'll get back to my editing.
Frankie is Knicks. He's a Knicks fan.
Yes.
Yeah, Brandon wants to know in the chat. Knicks guy.
who's your hockey team? Islanders or Rangers?
He's an Islanders guy. What? So Knicks and Islanders. Why not Knicks Rangers?
Because I have some level of class.
Wow.
Whoa!
No,
holy smokes!
The first ever hockey game I went to was Islanders Oilers.
Oh, that makes
so
sense.
Islander fan grew from that.
Did you live on Long Island?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Heard a funny story about Buck Showalter when he was manager of the Mets.
Probably more than one.
There were a couple.
Well, they asked him where he lived, and he said, "I don't know. I just put it in the GPS somewhere out on Long Island." They have a lot of
enough.
They have a lot of unpronounceable type city names.
A lot of it's because a lot of it's the Native Americans. The tribes that were there.
He didn't know how to say where he lived, so he just said, "I don't know where I live."
Massapequa or something.
Massapequa.
I just put it in the GPS when I get home. I don't know where I live.
Massapequa, Ronkonkoma, Patchogue,
Ronkonkoma. Oh my God! Yeah, I would have said the same thing.
Try
Don't ask me where I
spelling.
live.
I live on Long Island. Don't worry about it.
So don't worry.
I'm not
about
going
it.
to tell you where I live.
Patchogue.
Patchogue.
I just put it in the GPS.
Put the GPS, it gets me home. Now, is that why, if you work in Queens like that, to live on Long Island, is that the best?
Queens is more or less is considered the city.
It is, yeah.
But it's on the eastern side of the city, so you're coming in from Long Island that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
easy
easy enough commute.
More or less, Suffolk County and Nassau County. That's Long Island. Queens is more or less
Now,
considered
if you
the
work
city.
in the Bronx, Yankee Stadium, you might live up more toward the Connecticut suburbs, or up
not
in
that that far,
not that far, but up where
it's-
the nice golf courses and country clubs are there on the drive up toward
all
Connecticut.
named after Native Americans, right?
Yeah.
Like
Brooklyn's technically on Long Island. It's connected to Long Island, but it's considered a part of the city. And then there's Staten Island that nobody cares about.
Well, there's your geography lesson, Ben and Woods, the Italian Paul report.
New York geography.
Love it. Thank you.
All right, we will come back. We'll look ahead toward tonight's game, Padres. Also, anything else we missed for the weekend? Obviously, we talked a little basketball there, but we can catch it all up. And then Dennis Lynn, our Linsider, going to join us at the bottom of the hour. So plenty still to get to. Quick timeout after traffic. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, tell you about SDFatLoss.com. One more time, coming off the holiday weekend. If you perhaps indulged a little bit too much and you're ready to start a program in time for summer, and I say that, I know summer technically starts next month, but we'll be still May gray and June gloom in San Diego until we get to July. And by the time we are done with July, you can be down 10 to 20% of your body weight. That's up to a pound of fat lost per day just by following the simple strategies and plan from SDFatLoss.com. Your counselor will set it all out for you, explain it to you when you get a free consultation by going to SDFatLoss.com. The program involves no drugs or injections, no prepackaged bars or shakes, and you don't have to exercise to lose the weight. Just follow the plan like I did. You can even cheat every once in a while. I had a big cheat weekend, gained 7 pounds. Lost it all back. Still ended up 40 pounds down in my 60 days of weight loss. That was 2 years ago. 2 summers ago, I lost the weight, and I have kept it all off because maintenance is also a big thing. When you're not relying on injections and you're not relying on bars, you're going to be able to keep the weight off a lot easier. I have done so. It has made a world of difference for me. It can do it for you as well. Just set up your free consultation. Again, SDFatLoss.com. Take advantage, $200 off right now in the month of May during the spring special at SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
She's an 8th grader who is representing San Diego at the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Right now, she won. So at Channel 10, we put the Spelling Bee on every year locally.
Yeah, it's good.
And
move.
she won the competition of all of San Diego County's middle school students and advanced to the Nationals, which are going on right now. And she has gotten through the preliminary rounds. They eliminate a bunch of people with the first couple of words. And I thought we could test both of you on the spelling bee words she just got in the Nationals. I mean, these are,
okay,
for children.
All right.
You were an English major.
I was.
Yep. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Telegnosis.
Could you use it in a sentence?
The witch doctor expressed telegnosis when he predicted the end of the world in 40 years.
Telegnosis.
Definition, knowledge of distant happenings obtained by occult or unknown means.
Country of origin?
Clairvoyance. Unknown.
Okay. Telegnosis.
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 Ooh.
Telegnosis.
Okay.
Damn it!
Ding!
I thought telegnosis with just the G would be too easy.
It was too easy, but I think that's how they get them sometimes.
Because the way you
You're
said
out.
it, telegnosis.
You missed one.
I'm
You're
out.
gone. You're
I'm
done. All right, Frank, you ready?
Son of a...
It's
Malfeasance.
a cat, K-A-T.
Damn it, I
I'm
know
out of
this
here.
one.
Oh, you could have done this one?
Yes.
What was it again? I'm sorry.
Malfeasance. An act of wrongdoing. Malfeasance.
Sentence, please.
The corrupt politician was accused of malfeasance for stealing funds. Malfeasance.
M-A-L-P-H.
What?
I-S-A-N-C.
Not even close.
All right, can I steal?
Yeah, you steal.
M-A-L-F-E-A-S-A.
Yes,
Malfeasance.
correct. You were moving on to the next round.
I thought it was.
Did he say an H in there?
Yeah,
And a
the
K?
PH,
PH
like
instead of
phone
an
instead of
Malfeasance. You guys both overthought your words
Frank,
a little bit.
P-H-R-A-N-K.
Like
Frank.
I said, my school day spelling bee was cat, K-A-T. I'm out of here.
That's it.
Oh, and Brandon, we should use one of these words. Telegnosis could be an incorporator.
It's a good one.
Next time would be not a bad one for Jesse. All right, it was an interesting weekend.
Oh, are we done? I wanted to do this all morning.
No, that's all she got.
They
And she got into the quarterfinals, so she's moving on. Well, they have like hundreds of kids. They gotta weed them out pretty quickly. Some interesting things over the weekend in Major League Baseball. Did you see Tarek Skubal, the history that he made? First ever 13 strikeout shutout with less than 100 pitches on Sunday. And surprisingly, it was his first career complete game as well. Cy Young Award winner, had never even gone the distance in a game. That's how different baseball is today than it used to be, when you can like win a Cy Young and not even throw one complete game in the course of a season. But yeah, an absolute outstanding effort on Sunday. And did you see the ball that O'Neal Cruz of the Pirates hit? That was also on Sunday. 22.9 miles per hour. The fastest ever recorded in the StatCast era since they had this information available in 2015.
I believe he beat himself.
He beat
He
beat his own record. I think the next three after him are all Giancarlo Stanton, but he now has the two fastest balls ever hit.
So you want to pitch
off the bat,
kids? Yeah. So you want to pitch and have that potentially rocketing back at you at some point.
Some Shohei Ohtani news. He threw his first live pitching session for the Dodgers on Sunday.
Fantastic.
First one in almost 2 years. Also then led off the game that night with a home run and led off yesterday's game with another home run as the Dodgers beat the Guardians 7-2. Pitching-wise, though, Yoshinobu Yamamoto has been the one real success story for the Dodgers this year. He's looking like a Cy Young candidate. His ERA is at 1.97.
He's unreal now.
Ever since Game 5 of the National League Division Series against the Padres.
It's a great time to get it going.
He is locked in now, and he's looking like one of the best pitchers in the league. Padres did move back into second place in the NL West, percentage points ahead of the Giants, who got shut down by Cater Montero and the Tigers yesterday in the opener to their series. Tigers got the win 3-1. Diamondbacks blanked the Pirates 5-0. They've been getting a great season from Eugenio Suarez, who had his 15th home run of the year. He's been a real threat. Frankie's Mets beat the White Sox 2-1, needed sac flies in the 8th and 9th by Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor.
I was going to say never in doubt
to pull that one out of the fire. And our Texas Rangers, and I say are because of Skip Schumacher and Brett Boone and Bruce Bochy and Chris Young, they've been struggling again lately. Lost 7 of 8. They lost to the Blue Jays 2-1. What was interesting about that game, Jacob deGrom, who's been really good, and he wasn't bad. He only went 5 innings, though, but he did not record a strikeout for the first time in his career at any start.
He's probably never done that in his whole life.
Yeah, probably not.
Honestly, like Jacob deGrom pitching in high school definitely got a strikeout. Jacob deGrom pitching in rookies, minor A, definitely got a strikeout. To not get a K is very weird for him. He's such a punch-out pitcher. And listen, I tell Padres fans this, and I was thinking about it over the weekend too. You look back at the last 10 games, not great, 3-7 in the last 10, and you think, man, this team could have absolutely been buried if the Los Angeles Dodgers did what everybody expected them to do at the beginning of the season. Now, listen, they still may. Benny, they're getting a lot of guys coming back. They have made moves, which I thought were pretty savvy. The getting rid of the Chris Taylors of the world and getting rid of the Austin Barneses of the world for the Dalton Rushings and the Hai-Sung Kims. And, they're going younger. That being said, if you had asked a Dodger fan, honestly, or a Padre fan, honestly, after 54 games, what do you expect the division to be at? What would you have guessed? If I said, all right, Memorial Day, man, how many games out are the San Diego Padres? Would it have been more or less than 7?
I was going to say like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
but
5 or 6.
But right around there.
Yeah. And the fact that the Padres are only 2 games out of the West, I mean, as bad as it seems, you have not been buried yet. They have not stepped on the throat. They still may. Very much so. They're getting a lot of guys back.
I don't think bad is the right word. The Padres have not been bad.
Did I say they've been bad? No, I don't think
you said as bad as it seems.
As bad as it seems, yeah.
I mean, they're 8 games above 500.
Right.
And there aren't any There aren't really any teams that are far and away better than that. I mean, the best record in baseball right now, Tigers at 35-20. 15 games above 500.
Phillies are still looking good.
Padres played the Tigers. They lost 2 of 3, but that was a very competitive series.
Yeah.
They could have won all 3 of those games. I mean, I don't see the Tigers as being heads and shoulders better than the Padres. I mean, they're as good right now. I mean, not the way they're playing the offense, but at their best, when we saw them early in the season, Padres are as good or better than any team in baseball. They have that in them to be, I think, a World Series contender. Now, they've got to play up to their potential. They need guys like Tatis and Arise and Merrill all hitting. And if they do, their pitching's been deep enough and good enough, they absolutely can win the World Series. Now, the Dodgers could get a lot better, as you're saying, as the season goes on. That would be my biggest concern. But I mean,
you can't worry about who may come back for them.
I mean, the Padres need to play well enough to get to the playoffs. If they do, and they lock it in, they could win the World Series this year.
Sure.
I don't even know that they're going to make the playoffs, but I can say I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but if they do, they've got the talent to potentially go all the way.
Yeah. I looked at it and I went, man, it's, as dire as it has seemed the last 10 days or whatever, only winning 3 out of 10. You look at the standings, you're like, oh, all right, it's not that bad. Still very much in this fight in the NL West. And, I think it's a testament to how underachieving the Dodgers may be. And, stacking some of those wins early certainly helped San Diego Padres. We told them to do it. They did it. And now you just got to figure out how to get guys back, get guys healthy. And the guys that are in the lineup, how do you get them to produce? It's the gazillion-dollar question.
All right, final segment of the show will be reserved for our Linsider, Dennis Lynn. We'll talk a little more Padres baseball, get you caught up after the long weekend. That is next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, Woods and I want to tell you about Trust and Will. If you did not do it before the holiday weekend, as we recommended, it's not too late because apparently you're still alive and you're still listening to us, so you did not wait too long to go to trustandwill.com and get your final affairs, your documents in order. The problem is you never know when it's going to be too late.
Correct.
So don't wait and just get it done.
Yeah, we definitely put it off. I'm actually surprised by you. You're very your kids are older. You're very on top of things.
Well, I didn't realize until we did this. I thought, well, I just don't have that much
to give,
and it's all just going to go to the kids anyway. Like, I don't have to worry about it.
But you do.
I realized you do actually.
Yeah, you do.
They don't just assume what you think is obvious.
Correct.
It's a whole process.
It really
is. It's called
probate.
Yeah,
make sure you get the trust to avoid a probate. Keep your family out of those lengthy and expensive court processes. But make sure you go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN when you check out, FAN. You'll get 20% off and free shipping of your estate documents. Once again, trustandwill.com. Use FAN when you check out, and you'll be glad you did. It's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends June 14th. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. All right, we've saved the last bit of the show for our Linsider, Dennis Lynn. He will join us right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury. Here's Kelly Danick.
Not too bad of a wrap-up for our morning drive. Collision in the North County, East 78 near Broadway. It's over to the right shoulder. And in Lakeside, a surface street accident blocking lanes, intersection of Winter Gardens and Woodside. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Frankie is queuing up the Open for Dennis. Here it is.
Happy Monday, Padres fans.
Tuesday.
It's time to discuss the weekend that was for the Padres with our Ben and Woods Linsider, Dennis Lynn from The Athletic. Brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks, it gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Sorry about him, Frankie. He's a bit of a taskmaster when he gets going.
It's all right. I just want to get to Dennis, who survived yet another bee invasion at Petco Park yesterday. Glad you made it through, Dennis.
I'm glad all of you made it through.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
We were there. We saw it. We escaped with barely escaped with our lives.
It's good to see our beloved Dennis Lynn. He did not jump into the scrum with Jake Cronenworth like you did. We sat back and mocked all of you. Me, Dennis, and AJ Cassavell mocked all of you in there, just
doing our job.
Yeah,
just mocking us, doing our job, huh?
Being jackals, and what were you looking for on that pitch and all that stuff.
Did not even ask Jake a question.
Did you not? You just stood there?
I just stood there.
That's even worse, isn't it?
There was no one else, and I needed something. But then Gavin Sheets came out, who was my real target, and then I had to sneak away from Jake so I could talk to my actual person I wanted to talk to, who was Gavin. Dennis, you know how that works.
Yep.
Well, I'd like to give both of you credit for just showing up. I mean,
thank you.
It was a national holiday, and you guys were working hard on an off day. So
that's how we do
it, guys. And I know didn't have a show yesterday, but still, you guys were at it.
Thanks, D-Len. And it was very pleasant. Well, listen, when we were up in the broadcast booth saying hi to Jesse and Mud, looked down, saw you, Darvish, doing some throwing, and he walked back into the clubhouse. He was wearing his Ben and Woods shirt, which is always a trip to see. I don't think he has any idea who we are. I think it's just a really comfortable shirt, and it is. It's a very comfortable shirt. You can get yours if you Google Ben and Woods merch. You can find one. We'll have one for you, Dennis, soon. But with every day that passes, I just get a little bit more nervous that I don't know. It's going to be a while till we see you, Darvish. I haven't heard any reports on how the throwing session went yesterday. It looked to the naked eye like it went pretty well, but I think all of us are a little bit trepidatious about you, Darvish. Have you heard anything about his potential return that we haven't?
I don't know that I've heard much more than you at this point, but I'm with you, Woodsy. At this point, he's going to be 39 this summer. He's obviously got a history of injuries. He's got a Tommy John surgery, a decade in his past. Just the fact that he had a rehab start about 10, 11 days ago and hasn't gotten off the mound since. That's always concerning. It was a positive sign, I guess, that he was playing catch yesterday, but it wasn't super aggressive catch. It was pretty light. So even if he is fine for now going forward, it's going to take him a while to ramp back up after the time off he's had. But yeah, just at that age and just given his injury history, I think there's you can't really bank on anything at this point. And I think the Padres, if you ask them honestly, they would take what they got last offseason. I know last season. The circumstances are different. Him coming off the restricted list, but he came back in August and then was pretty good down the stretch in September and pitched a couple of great games in the playoffs. So if they could get that at this point, I think honestly they would be pretty happy with that.
Maybe of more immediate concern is the condition of Michael King. We did get a little more updates yesterday, but this isn't exactly a typical pitcher injury. It's at least from my understanding, Dennis. What's your thoughts here on what the Padres have told us and what you're kind of hearing about Michael King and the scapula knot or whatever he's got in his shoulder?
Well, I don't think I have much understanding of it because, as you pointed out, Ben, yeah, it's an unusual injury, especially for a pitcher. I can't remember the last time I heard about a scapula injury sidelining somebody, but that's I guess literally the shoulder blade and the muscle around it. He woke up on it, I guess, Saturday before his scheduled start in Atlanta, feeling a knot in that area, and they try to work it out and get him throwing some plyo balls and just didn't feel comfortable enough to go. I guess you listen to them, they could have pushed him out there and just decided against it, but then the next day they put him on the IL. So obviously this is a more serious injury than initially believed. They're trying to figure out what exactly it is. We haven't been able to talk to Michael. He hasn't been available the last couple of days, but yeah, he's probably going to be out a little while as they try to figure this out. And they've got Kyle Hart coming up from AAA to start on Wednesday, and they're just going to have to piece it together for now because, yeah, the schedule's about to get really tough, as we've all seen.
And it does make me wonder, Dennis, and again, not to disparage the opponents that are on the schedule this week, but if it did have to happen, this is a decent week for it to happen, taking on the Marlins and the Pirates, two teams with certainly tons of young talent, scrappy in their own ways. But I think, I do wonder if it does have to happen right now where you have to play mix and match. This is a fairly decent week to do it.
I agree. And I actually think it's okay to disparage them just a little bit, maybe. They've got the lowest payroll in the league, the Marlins, that is. So, yeah, if you're looking at a soft landing or a soft re-landing for Kyle Hart, this would be the series to do it. And they've got the Pirates coming up, so I guess they could have done it then. But, this gives Nick Pivetta a little more time to recover after his last start and aligns him up to face the Dodgers the start after that. So, yeah, like we were talking about earlier, the schedule's about to get a lot tougher, but, they've really got to make hay this week against two teams who are kind of the dregs of the National League.
They do have a pretty talented young left-handed pitcher that we saw last night. Supposedly he was with the Padres, didn't look like the same guy that we had. We had a discussion earlier, Dennis, about Ryan Weathers' time with the Padres. You covered Ryan Weathers when he was on with the Padres and why it doesn't work out for some guys in certain organizations. Woodsy said, a wake-up call might have been what he needed with that trade to Miami, but he certainly transformed himself and looks like the real deal now in Miami.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it sounds like he lost about 20 pounds in the offseason. We all saw it last night. He was like sitting 97, 98, touching 99. I think he threw the hardest pitch of his career to the Padres. And, yeah, maybe not surprising, a little bit of a revenge game, I guess you could call it. His first, I think that was his first time pitching at Petco since 23. I mean, he got traded that summer and then he was back at Petco like next week, pitching for the Marlins against the Padres. So, yeah, he's definitely overhauled a lot of things. I think, the talent's always been there. Obviously, he's got the bloodlines with his dad. And, yeah, the Padres, you could argue, yeah, they rushed him up and they kind of needed it to some extent in the 2020 playoffs. But, yeah, I mean, he's still young, still obviously got a lot of talent. And I think he's overhauled a lot of things, kind of re-examined things. And last couple off seasons, and credit to him. As Manny Machado said last night after the game, hopefully he doesn't look quite as good when they face him in Miami, if they do face him in Miami later this summer. But yeah, he's definitely transformed himself.
Talking to our pal Dennis Lynn from The Athletic here on Ben and Woods this morning. And speaking of, bloodlines and fathers, Fernando Tatis Jr. remains a concern of most of the Padres fans that I talk to on a daily basis, Dennis. I see on social media, everyone wondering what is wrong with Fernando Tatis Jr. Is it physical? Is it mental? I tend to think that it's probably a mental thing. Physically, he looks like the freak that he is, and still moving around really well in the outfield. The arm looks as electric as it always has, just seems a little bit lost at the plate. Have you, is he, I don't know. You saw it. I show up like twice a year down in the clubhouse. Does he talk to you guys? Would he sit down and address kind of what's going on, or is that just kind of not been his thing?
No, I don't think he's ever going to be the guy to kind of pour out his heart to the media and tell us what's going on in his personal life if there's stuff going on. And obviously you hope, he's doing okay off the field if, there are things going on. I know, he's obviously working hard on some mechanical things, a lot of tweaking in the box. He's always been a guy who kind of tweaks things when things aren't going right. But you look at his ground ball rate this year, his average launch angle, it's, those are both career lows, so he's obviously mechanically searching for it. But yeah, I mean, everyone sees the body language over the last, few weeks or so, and this is, by some measures, the worst month of his the worst calendar month of his career, just in terms of batting average, on base percentage, slugging, all those numbers. But yeah, I was watching him pretty closely last night, just given what we had kind of, all seen the last couple of weeks, and yeah, he was still engaged. When Manny hit that home run to tie the game, he was the first guy to greet him, and he seemed pretty enthusiastic about that. But yeah, obviously he's going through it right now, and it's not fun. And he's really hard on himself. So yeah, you kind of wonder if at some point this continues, does Mike Schilt, finally kind of move him out of that leadoff spot, because he's got the ability to energize this entire team, set the tone as we saw in the first month of the season. He's also got the unwitting ability to kind of, take things down a notch, because he's so, he gets pretty emotional when he's down on himself. So, he's still only 26, but yeah, I think some of the maturation that we like to see, it's still on the way, you would hope. But yeah, this is just a tough stretch that he's clearly trying to get out of.
Yeah, and like Jesse said earlier, nobody likes an 0 for 12. Nobody likes an 0 for 18, and those guys are hard on themselves, and they do take it upon themselves. My thing with these guys is he gets off to such a hot start. Why tinker ever? You know what I mean? Just because let's say you make some mechanical adjustments, and I got a leg lift, I got a toe tap, whatever it is now, and I start off gangbusters. And then you have maybe 1-2 bad games in a row. Then they start to tinker with their swings a little bit, and that never works. And then you find yourself searching for it for the next month. And he has the ability, as you said, to 100% lift this team, carry this team. We've seen him do it. Moving him out of the top, the thing you worry about with that is he going to be upset about it? You know what I mean? But you have to have your best hitter leading off. He gets the most ABs. He's not our best hitter right now.
Right. It's probably a delicate balance
yes.
to the lineup after, he's been there all season at the top. But yeah, it's not ideal either way. Like if you leave him there and this continues, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Why aren't you guys making changes?
Right.
And if you, move him out, does that impact his confidence even further? But yeah, I just think at some point, you've got Luis Urias, who did it all of last season after he joined the Padres and did it pretty well. And Tatis kind of really turned it on in the second half, playing with like 1.5 legs. So if that's the way they go, I understand it. If they keep him there and just kind of hope he digs his way out, I understand that as well. But yeah, there's no easy answers right now.
Last 60 seconds, Dennis, just your network of athletic colleagues that cover every team and national. Any rumors about a left field option for the Padres on the trade market? Because we know AJ's at least looking.
He confirmed that.
Yeah,
with Ben and Woods.
Yeah, they're obviously looking. I think it's been obvious for weeks that they need to find something for outside the organization. All apologies to Kearsarge Ellis, who I hope gets another chance at some point. But yeah, they just really need someone who's maybe a little more proven at the big league level or at the higher level. And yeah, I think it's still too early. I mean, Memorial Day just passed to say for sure, who some targets are. But how about the guy last night, Kyle Stowers, a local kid, went to Christian High School in El Cajon. AJ and Peter Bendix have made trades before, obviously, so that's a guy I would keep an eye on. Maybe he'll be too expensive prospect-wise, but it's Preller, and he seems to pull like prospect capital out of his every single year. So we'll see. Well, maybe that's a guy to watch out for.
Dennis, appreciate it as always. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, brother.
Dennis Lynn from The Athletic, our Lynn Signer, brought to you by Hamul Casino. I never totally understood the revenge game. What does Ryan Weathers... What? Because the Padres drafted you in the first round.
No, they traded you.
Believed in him.
You guys.
Tried to develop into the best pitcher possible.
You traded me.
Ryan Weathers failed the Padres.
No,
the Padres
that's not
didn't fail Ryan Weathers.
No. I mean, you saw his mom's tweets. It was our fault.
This was the Padres' hopefully revenge game against Ryan Weathers.
No.
For, failing the Padres.
You don't have a revengeful bone in your body, so you can't even speak on it.
I don't. Stowers would be an interesting option.
Be a great option. Great option. What do they want for him? Probably the moon right now.
I don't know. They sent a rise here and paid for his salary last year. I mean, seems like a good trade partner.
Not going to make that mistake again.
All right, that is it for us. We'll have Italian Paul Frankie back for another day tomorrow.
Nice work, by the way. Sorry about him screaming at you all morning. I think you did a great job.
Even if he admittedly didn't prepare for his round report, it went fine. So no worries. And we will have 4 more hours with you tomorrow morning for a Wednesday edition of Ben and Woods. That's it for us.
Let's go.
If you missed any of this, though, we're going to the best of replay. Ben and Woods coming up next. Don't go anywhere. For Stephen Woods, for Frank Marchese, I'm Ben Higgins. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long.